what's going on. But you know what? On second thought, I can't believe it because it's been going on for too long. It's been going on for too long. All this stuff going on in the church and they protecting it. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of patties up in the church and they are the most protected. From the Baptists all the way down to the Catholics. Now we need to talk about this. What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing? What's going on? Have y'all missed me? Because I missed y'all. All right. Now, I've been up in these streets, okay? And I got to come back on the internet, and this is what I find. I find that, you know who this lady is, girl? She is the anointed daughter of T.D. Jakes. Yes, you know, he's very anointed. He got a very powerful thing going on in the church. He has so many followers. And I was surprised to hear his daughter was married to this man. I done forgot his name. His name not even important, but y'all, you won't believe what's going on with that. Her husband been touching boys, okay, touching little people or kids, whatever, and been going on for a little long time. And not only that, it's a lady that's coming out, and she is saying that they've been stealing her kids. Yeah, she said it was a setup. Cora, that's her name, and her husband, you know, they are setting up kids. They getting kids, and you know what they doing to them kids. You know what I'm saying? Grooming them. You know, a lot of time people want to talk about the entertainment world, but y'all leave out the church. How the church is full of rituals and grooming as well. It's a lot goes on in the church behind scenes, but they are the most protected. And if y'all know some more tea on this, please call in, because we definitely want to know what's going on. And before I get on, hey y'all, how you doing? What's going on, Tiffany Young? You know you always gonna make it hot with your comments. Hey, Tiana Harris, hey, what's going on? Make sure y'all like this video. Y'all know I need them likes. Coach White, where you been at? I haven't seen you in a long time. Okay, you acting brand new. I see my people here. Hey, Miss Cortez, how you doing, boo? Good to see you. You know what I mean? You know summer here, so you know I've been up in these streets, okay? Summertime, hey, okay? Always something going in the church, yeah. And I know y'all got some stories about what's going on in the church. Call in, let us know about your stories in the church, girl. And these pastors that are so protected. And I know people are afraid to speak out because these pastors are heavily protected. You know what I'm saying? But let me show you about this lady. Listen here, look at here. I know y'all been seeing it. This lady right here, she's on this YouTube channel. Who channel is it? Sheila Bila. Okay, Sheila Bula, shout out to you, boo. All right, so let's go here and see what's going on. Oh, girl, did y'all hear about DJ Stop the Beat? Did y'all hear about T.D. Jakes' son-in-law? Okay, that's his son-in-law, but he got another son called stepson. Girl, his stepson was all on the news a couple of years ago. Did y'all hear about that? Look at here. T.D. Jakes' son, this happened a minute ago, but his own son was going in the woods, going to see other men. Yeah, he's zesty, you know what I mean? They was going in that pot looking for dick. You know how they supposed to go to the church and look for a spirit and pray and look for the glory of God and Holy Ghost? Child, it was the Holy Ghost dick up in that park. Okay? Yeah. They was doing congregation meetings up in that park. Man on man, looking for some dick and nuts. So they caught T.D. Jakes' son-in-law up in the park, girl. Yeah. Pulling that thing on out. Okay? Stroking it to the east to the motherfucking west, all right? In front of a whole bunch of niggas up in the park, all right? He was not going to get sanctified in prayer. He was going to church, and after the church, he would go on to the park, okay? And then after he get finished touching himself, he'll go back to church and touch hands with everybody else and lay hands on them, okay? And y'all think it's sanctified hands and them some big-ass hands, okay? Anyway, he was on the news and everything.
There are a lot of people talking about this tonight. Jermaine Donnell Jakes is the stepson of Pastor T.D. Jakes.
What I tell tell you?
That stepson is accused of exposing himself
What'd I
to
tell
two undercover Dallas police officers. Investigators say on January 3rd, about 10 o'clock at night, Jermaine Donnell Jakes was at Keast Park in West Dallas. According to police, 29-year-old Jakes went into a wooded area with several other men. Undercover officers followed him and found him touching himself.
What I tell you? What I tell you? What I tell you?
An arrest warrant affidavit indicates Jermaine Jakes walked up to the undercover officers, made eye contact with them, and continued touching himself.
Oh, God, I can't take it no more. I can't take it. He thought them other listen, baby, them undercover cops must have looked good, okay? Yeah, them undercover cops, girl. They must have the six-pack and all. And they said, oh, homeboy, what? Hold on, let's run it back. Run it back to what he looked like. It ain't no shame for what he looked like. You know, he shouldn't be judged for what he looked like. But, baby, okay, listen. He thought he had him a snack, okay? Because I bet you them undercover cops that go and look for the men that be touching themselves in public with other men, you know, they go around undercover, honey, okay? That's the real DF. And they flirt with other men just to make them expose themselves so they can arrest their ass. Girl, they said he went up to the men, okay? Yeah. Yeah, go up to the man while he, you know, stroking it to the east and west. Looking them in the eyes like, come on, nigga. Come on, nigga. Okay, pull it out. Let's play poke and bean, all right, in this motherfucking part. Yeah. Okay, so that's what's going on. So it's a lot of stuff that's going on around TD Jakes, baby. Okay, and this just the start of it. And let's give a big old thank you to Miss Cortez. Donating $5. Okay, dick hands. Yeah, them diggy hands. Yeah, y'all be careful who y'all lay hands on and who y'all touching in the church. But you know what? The church is not, it's a lot of entertainment in church. I be on the internet and on Facebook, and I seen this pastor, right? He was in some dirty water. Dirty water. He had a big old tub, and he had his bare feet in that dirty water. Do you know he had a cup? And he put the cup in his dirty water and had the whole congregation drinking out the cup. Mind you, they didn't have separate cups. It was the same cup. They put mouth on mouth and they just drinking it. People are they follow any and everybody nowadays. It's really crazy out here. You know, I seen a whole bunch of stuff out here in these church folks, but you know, I really don't touch on it. You know what I'm saying? But with this right here, girl, I seen people talking about it. And you know, the gossip people talk about it. So I said, hell, you know I got to touch on it. You know I got to touch on it. And you know I got the phone lines open. Let me make sure I got the right number. Okay? Yeah, I got the right number. I see somebody on the line right now. All right, let's talk. Because you know I like to talk as I go. Hey, how you doing? Are you live on the air calling from 904? Hey, baby, how you doing?
Yes, I'm well. Thank you for bringing up this conversation, and thank you for having me. This is Goddess. I was just going to say, if they brought back slavery, I feel like the people in the church will be the first ones to be like, you know what? God is telling us to. I mean, these people is so...
yes, God, hold on. I want to play with you. Can I play with you? Can I play with you?
Yeah, come on.
All right, let me tell y'all, God is bringing slavery back for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why he got to bring it back, to get order in this world. It's too chaotic.
Amen.
When we was back in slavery,
Amen.
we were obedient to God. Understand?
Amen.
We had a
Amen.
promise. And we got, you know how many of us went to heaven because we are obedient to the master and stay in the word. Okay? So we got to get back in order. And women need to get back in their place. And slavery, it helps. You know what I mean? It needs to be some damn order up in this atmosphere. I'm tired of women, they don't got no clothes on. They acting like Jezebels. Yes. They talk too dang much. Yes. Close your mouth, woman. You are a woman. Know your
Yes, Lord.
place. Okay, God don't want you to talk. God wants you to be in that kitchen. Okay? Cooking a meal for a man and on your back busting up babies. That's your position. And slavery is going to help us get back in there. All these niggas and thugs ain't no thugs. These thugs need to be out here picking cotton, helping the world go round and round. We need order. And let me tell you, the white man gonna give it to us. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for the white man, we wouldn't have these damn Bibles. If it wasn't for the white man, we wouldn't know how to read. If it wasn't for the white man, we wouldn't know about family structure. We need them. They are in a place to teach us about how to go forward, because we want to be in the promised land. Amen. This is a test. This world right here is a test, baby. This ain't nothing but a test. So you gotta sacrifice. Okay, because this is earthly realm. You gotta make it to the promised land. And your masters is a test. God is testing you. Once you get past this test, guess what, baby? It's gonna be a big old feast before you. You don't gotta worry about no pain. You don't got to worry about no headache. You don't got to worry about no bills due. No light bills due. You don't got to worry about the ghetto. You don't got to worry about your baby mama. You don't got to worry about your baby daddy. You okay? Okay.
Amen. Amen.
Girl, you know I could go on and on, but go ahead. Yeah, I like you. Okay.
But you know, now it's time for tithes and offering. Because, you know, can you go ahead and take up the tithes and offering? Come on, now we got them feeling good.
Yeah,
so now we gotta take this
because like I said before, this money is not real. And God says right here, you want to get blessed, don't you? Well, give up the money. You want that BMW? Give me the money. You want that BMX? Give me the money. You want a good husband, don't you? Well, you need to sow your seed, because God says you need to give tithe to the church so you can get your husband. Ain't you tired of being single? Ain't you tired of being alone? Ain't you tired of being a baby mama? Ain't you tired of stressing? Ain't you tired of hurting? Ain't you tired of pain? Ain't you trying to sick? Okay, well, how you gonna serve that if you gotta give forth the money? This money is not yours. This is of the world. Why you holding on to it? When you die, you can't have that money. You can't have that money when you die. God blessed you life. When you got up in this life, you didn't have money. And when you leave, you ain't going to have money. So you need to give money forward to the Lord, because it's not yours. That money not yours.
Amen.
Okay?
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
See, that's your problem. Y'all praise money too
Yes.
much. Money is a God. You can't lust for money. And this is your test right now. Prove to God that money is not your love. Prove to God that money is not your God. Prove to God that money is not your lust. Now, I need y'all to pass the plate and forward it around. Sacrifice your pocket.
Amen.
I know you struggling, sister. I know you struggling, brother. But guess what? When you give your last, God sees that, and He's going to give you abundantly blessings. Don't you want to be abundantly blessed? Well, you got to give off the little bit that you got. You got to give out. Listen, sister, I know your light bills due. I know your foreclosing on your home due, but you got to have faith in God that He would do it. And this is your time. This is your test. Give forth the money, people. Give the money. All right. Look, you see how you get me started. You see how you get me started.
You know what? My name is Queen Tosa. I'm a content creator, and I would love to definitely come and have a church session with you. Whenever you want to preach, you call me in here. I'm going to answer you right on up.
Okay. I like you. We got to check you out. Okay. Any other thing you have to say about this? Now, what did you thought when you first heard this?
Well, see, in a black church, you know, growing up, you know, things were happening in the church, and, you know, it was all hush-hush, so I can relate. I mean, I've been taken to a church, and I was younger. This dude took me to the church, and he, had his way with me.
Mm. What you mean had
Yeah.
his way with
So
you?
I mean, it happened.
Well, I know what you mean, so let me
I
not
mean,
act. Now, hold on. I don't want to know the details. Let me stop acting. Okay. Well, I
okay.
apologize. Now, when he did that and you
No,
said it was a pastor?
yeah. So he had the keys to the. I remember it like it was yesterday. He had the keys to the church, and it was like a Buick. It was like a four-door Buick. The car was blue, and it was over there like off of Memorial, like going up Memorial. And we went there. I was young. I was on that chat line. Looking for
Hold
a
on. You
man.
met a
And
pastor
I
on a
found
chat
one.
line?
Yeah, I didn't know that he was a pastor. I didn't know
Why would a pastor be
I
on
didn't
a
know who
chat
he was
line?
until we arrived at the church. I didn't know who he was until we arrived at that church, and we went right on up in there.
Mm. Were you of age at the time?
I believe I was like 16.
Oh, you are not. You're a child. 16, you're still a child. And I'm
Mhm.
assuming this not a youth pastor. This was a pastor, a youth pastor. Was he of age or underage?
Oh, he was a grown man.
Oh, I'm sorry that happened to you.
But see, you gotta understand this. You gotta understand this. Like when I was 14, I just because I had to support myself, I was walking over there on North Avenue. Like me and my best friends, we would catch the train and work the block. So, being shunned by your family, these type of things kind of happen. You don't expect for them to
Well,
happen,
I don't.
but you know,
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, but a 14, it shouldn't be happening like that. Your society and, the church especially is supposed to help and build people up, especially if you're out in the street and stuff,
yeah,
not take advantage of people that is less fortunate and don't have much. You know what I'm saying? That's
yeah.
wrong.
But
But
then
I appreciate
I
you.
blame it on the parents too. But
Yeah.
listen, I'll just say this: parents, check on your children, talk to them, have conversations with them. Don't yell at them all the time. Like, really, just try to get to know your kids because if like, I'm not gonna complain because my life. I'm glad it made me who I am today. But not many people can say I'm here today. Some people have lost their lives. So if you
Mhm.
have a family member or if you have somebody that's, going through mental health, help that person. Give them resources or, provide resources instead of like laughing and making fun of stuff all the time.
Mhm. Yeah, I appreciate it. All
And
right.
that's all I have.
Well, thank you for calling
Okay.
in and sharing your story. Feel free, y'all, to call in and share your story. What's going on? Now, here is this lady. I want you guys to hear her out. Check this out.
I was homeless. Um, I was leaving a 4 or 5 year relationship. I had 3 kids already, and I was pregnant with my fourth born, Jason. Um, when we got reacquainted, she told me that she'll be there to help me. She told me that she was only there to help me. After I had Jason, it was just like I was just set up from the beginning. She was not there to help me. She was actually there to take my child.
Mm. Now, you hear that? She's talking about Cora Jakes' daughter. And she said that she was not there to help her. So it was a setup. She said she pretended to help her, but in all actuality, it was a setup to take her kid. You know what I'm saying? They out here stealing kids and knowing that her husband likes to be with kids in an ungodly way. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's going on. I think it's kind of a church ritual Because everyone around T.D. Jakes seems to be on a whole different path and level. And they say they want them kids for a sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's why he got all them riches and all that glory, because he had to have some rituals going on. But I don't know. This is just some thoughts that's going on in my head. Call in, let us know. I believe the Catholic Church, I believe they do rituals too with little kids. Yes, they do. You know, the Catholic and the church, they want to turn around on the entertainment business, but I think they go hand in hand, okay? I think they both tie 50-50 on all the rituals and the kids and everything and the grooming. But I need y'all to call in, because I know y'all live in this world. Y'all be seeing and hearing what's going on. Okay, but let me continue to play.
And she did everything that she could to get what she wanted, her and her husband. From constantly telling me that I didn't have my son for myself, to backing me in a corner in her office at her home when they stayed in Grand Prairie, her and her husband Brandon, and telling me that if I did not give my son to them, that they would take him from me.
You hear that? They said that if she did not give her only son to them as a sacrifice, then they would permanently take her son from her. What type of world? Who does that? You know what I'm saying? And we on, this Larry Live read. Shout out to Larry Live, because he busted up the story like he always do. But who does that? And you know that grown-ass man wanted that boy for himself. Okay? Yeah, he wanted that. Let me show you what he looked like. All right, so this is the man. He's in jail now for touching on boys. Okay? That's her husband, and they went before God, and they went before the man of God, which is T.D. Jakes. You know, he has a whole flock. And T.D. Jakes didn't see that discernment. He didn't see that spirits. And then somehow they always see spirits on everybody else. But he didn't want to see that spirit, or he knew that was a spirit. And he invited that spirit in his house. He invited that spirit to marry his daughter. Something up. Come on, there ain't no way. This man is so spiritual, and he can see spirits, he can see demons, he can feel demons, he can feel angels. He's so powerful. You don't see what's going on in front of you in the spirit realm? Because we're not talking about flesh. You know, flesh is blinded. But in the spirit, you should be able to see and sense way more in the spirit realm than in the flesh. But this is the man. He's in jail now. And I told y'all about TDJ, godson or stepson. He got caught in the park with other men, you know, doing the you know what. They had undercover cops coming for his behind. All right, we got another caller. You know, I'm going to pick up the phone call. Check this out. DJ? Okay, here we go. Calling from 765. You're live on the air. Hello?
Yeah, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah,
you okay?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
Okay, what's going on? What's your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I'm gonna say this. I've been in the church. All my life, and I remember back when I was like 12 years old. I remember back when there was a thing that came out about Bishop T.D. Jakes got caught with another man.
No, I didn't hear that. Hold on. Wait. You taking me too fast. You said what?
I'm 38 years old. When I was 12 years old, there was two scandals that came out back around 94, 95, 96. And one came out with Hezekiah Walker.
Hezekiah
he
Walker
got caught with a man in a hotel room.
Hold on, Hezekiah. This is all new to me. Hezekiah Walker. What is he, a singer, a gospel singer?
Hezekiah Walker, why we're going to leave him because
Hold
he
on.
got caught.
You got to break it down to me.
Room.
Now, Hezekiah Walker, isn't he, didn't they say he's anointed?
Yes, ma'am.
He's touched by God. God speaks through him with his voice.
Yep.
And that same person, you said he was in bed with another man?
That he was in bed with another man. His wife was gonna leave him. This was
And
back in
he
like
had a wife on
'96.
top of that?
And he was married to his wife. Yep.
So he was double dipping.
Yep. And it was the same thing came out about T.D. Jakes around that same time that he got caught with a man.
So do you think all these pastors, they get along and they already know, they already know in the spirit realm how to get down. You know what I'm saying? They know what's going on. So they eat bread and scrambled eggs and bacon. And they tell each other how they going to make so much money off the black community and how they going to get some of these boys for these rituals. What do you think about that?
Yeah, when you understand that, when you understand spiritual warfare, the spirits attract. So if he allowing this man to marry his daughter, and this man is touching on boys, it's obvious that spirit that's on him is attracted to, that drew another spirit, homosexual, perverted spirit to him, that's allowing that in his household. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he invited it. People say, why y'all blaming T.D. Jakes? Now, this how I feel about T.D. Jakes.
He the head.
Okay, take it this way, okay? If you have a human being that said he's spiritual, he's close to God, he can see things, I cast that demon out of you and I can do this and I can do that, let me lay hands on you and lay it out. Now he can see all these demons and shit. You mean to tell me he didn't see that spirit of touching on kids? When that man first came to his house, he didn't sense that dark spirit coming around his daughter. He didn't see that dark scent on his daughter. You can sniff that shit out. It's just like if you walk around with some shit on you, you can smell it, right? Right? Can you smell if somebody has some shit on them, on their shoe or on their clothes? You can smell. You like, goddamn, what's that shit? If somebody got some stanky ass breath, you can sense it, right?
Yeah.
So pick that. Those are senses. Now in the spirit realm, these people in the spirit realm, they can sense that type of senses that you sense in the flesh. They can sense it in the spirit. They can sniff out some stank shit. They can sniff out darkness.
Smell demons.
Yeah, and you can tell. You know what? You've been hanging around some demons. I can sniff that shit on you. I can see it. I can feel that presence of darkness. Whoever you've been around, I can sit. That's what they do. So for him to be all this in his home and this daughter, something up. That's what I'm saying. Something up. That's what I think. But comment. What you think?
I want to tell you. I want to tell you, just keep doing your thing. Keep on, exposing and stuff. We in a time where, man, there's a lot of these preachers are getting exposed, and it's kind of sad. It's really sad.
But they still being protected. They still being protected, and it's horrible. And you know what? It's sad because they wait until these preachers, they do so much to all these boys before they get locked up, because the congregation does not believe. And in the spirit realm, belief is very important, because when you have faith on something, you always uplifting, you giving it power. That's how the spirit world realm. Your mouth and your tongue, it speaks life and death. So when you have a congregation always uplifting a dark spirit, and they don't realize it's a dark spirit because it comes to them as a light, they are still uplifting that spirit and giving them power. So they're going to stay on that pulpit as long as they can. They still going to do what they do to these little boys and these girls, but mostly boys, if you want to be honest with it, okay? So that's just what it is.
You hear that message? You hear the message recently where he preached about TJ was preaching about it's hard to be a man today. In today's world, it's hard
No,
to be a
I don't
man.
listen to him, so I missed that sermon.
Yeah, it's kind of he was kind of watering it down for a man. Talking about some, it's hard to really be a man. That's why the woman is doing the man's job or whatever. But the way he kind of flipped it, it was kind of the way he kind of twisted the message. It didn't add up really. But and then he preached another message where he was on justifying homosexuality. You know what I'm saying? Justifying gays.
Well, I have no, you know, I support all the LGBT, so ain't nothing over here. But I wonder, is he going to talk about his stepson or his son-in-law and what's going on? Is he going to use this as a lesson in his church? Is he going to go down and say, you know what? I should have seen this a mile away. I was blinded by making my daughter happy. You know, because they talk about very personal stuff. But is he going to talk about this situation with his daughter?
But he gonna have to because the church gonna hold him accountable because it was like last year.
Is the church really gonna hold him accountable? Stop it. The church ain't gonna hold him accountable. The church gonna say, Pastor, you don't need to talk about that. They don't got nothing to do with you, Pastor. You know what I'm saying? What they do got nothing to do with you. You know, you're not a part of that. Don't talk about that. You got to focus on the word. See, that's what the devil want to do. He want to distract you from your purpose. Why talk about that? Why give the world what they want? The world wants you to talk about it, Pastor. Don't you do it. His congregation not going to hold him accountable. None of these congregations hold pastors accountable. Come on, stop the crap.
Yeah, you right about it.
No. No, they're going to protect their pastor at all costs. They don't care wrong or right. They riding down. It's a ride or die situation. It's a ride or die relationship they have for their pastors. Do you know they'll take their own life for their pastors? A lot of them will.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we living in some cults. Things like a lot of these churches operate like cults and like you saying, rituals, cults. They cultist behavior. They obsessed with these people like they act like they are God themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they feel like they are demigods. That's what they were called. That means half man, half God. I am the closest thing to God. You talk to me to talk to God. God talks to me to give you a message. Okay? You touch my hand, you touch partially God because I am a demigod. When I touch you, you fall down. When I touch you, you are healed because I am a demigod. No other human can do what I do. That's why you follow me. God speaks to me. Mm-hmm. Do you think I get on here and I'm talking? No, I'm not. He is using my body. He is using my vessel to speak through me. So, you know, that's true. That's a demigod. But, yeah, I appreciate you calling. Please call back. All right, let's let you go. All right, comment. Let us know what you guys think about this. Please like this video and feel free to call in. Okay, don't throw stones at glass houses. All right, let's keep on going. Calling from 513. You're live on the air.
God says no other God outside of me. Ain't no Demi, ain't no half, ain't no Demi, ain't Thor.
You said Thor. How you doing? You all right? Hello?
Yeah, I'm good. Hello?
All right, talk about it. So when you first heard this story coming out, and Cora, T.D. Jakes' daughter, and her husband, you know, was touching them kids, what were your thoughts?
I mean, I couldn't believe that they were actually Christians, and I thought for a moment they was Catholics. Because I thought that Catholics, you know, they got down like that.
No, I'm sorry to inform you. It's a lot of pastors in the Baptist church and the black community. They get down like that too. It's just their stories never get heard. Because nobody cares about little black boys. Nobody cares about little black girls getting touched. That's not going to hit story because nobody cares about little black boys and little black girls. They say, shut your ass up. He's a man of God. Why would he do that? Why would you make something up? The devil is using your brain and distorting you. No, pray about it. And if he did touch you, he didn't mean to. Look at all the shit he did for us. You know we po. He gave us the turkey salad. You know we po. He prayed for us. Don't you dare say that about that good man. And even if it is true, who gonna believe your ass? You gonna make it hard on our family. You know we don't got much. We don't need everybody judging us and talking about us. You know, if he touched you, then just keep your ass off around him. But black girls and black boys stories do not get told on the news. It's just,
Yeah, I just know when I was growing up in church, I had a pastor, and I wanted to, I thought he was a great pastor, but a lot of people in the church, and I was a young girl, so I had a lot of older ones was talking about, well, he was stealing from the church, and a lot of things was happening in the church, and I'm like, oh, no, he wouldn't do that, even though I know he's driving this nice car and got all these rings on, but, you know, I stood up for him all the way to the end, and then we found out this man was actually stealing from the church, and probably was doing a lot, he was cheating on his wife also, by the way, so, you know, you'll be really surprised. You know, I just know growing up, there was a lot more of the pastors actually taking money from the church for the, you know, as far as the Christians, you know, being brought up Christian, they was taking money a lot. I heard about the sexual things and the sexual acts a lot more as a child in the Catholic religion, but not to say that it wasn't going on in the Christian,
right.
You know, the Christian
see, the
religion,
Catholics, see them, a lot of them, you know, white little boys and girls. And so their story's going to hit worldwide news. You know, everybody going to hear about that. And do you know they're still having those stories today? And you know those little boys and girls, a lot of boys are getting paid a lot of money for these church people touching on them. They're getting paid. Because they getting lawsuits.
Yep, they are.
But the church people don't want those lawsuits to be out, and they want everything to be hush-hush. But nah, baby, it's going to come to the forefront. And another thing that's been exposed is these Boy Scouts. Don't you know they had a lot of white people be going to these Boy Scouts? You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that's the Boy Scouts, the Pope, and all
to
of
teach
that.
you how to be a man. And they was touching on them boys, too.
You got to be a man.
Right. And they coming out and they getting sued and they getting money, but a lot of conservative people don't want that story out. And you know, conservatives and Republicans, they see that you're shaming the church, you're shaming Boys Scouts. And you know, when I was in a Boy Scout, nothing like that happened to me, and I just think it's not right. You know, it's a lot of good stuff that happened during that time, so you have a lot of fight with that. And you barely hear. You hear it sometime, but yeah, them whites, they gonna stand up and they gonna make sure everybody hear about this. And you know, they gonna care. But in the black community, it's like, just hush up. Right. You gonna make shit worse. You know, he a good man. Why you want to see a good man go down? If he was touching on you, what did you have for him to touch on you? Why would he just do it to you? What makes you think you so special? He why?
And I believe that T.D. Jakes, still has a lot to do. And when they say, why bring him up? Well, let's say it was surreal, because for his daughter to be raised up, it only takes, I know that it takes a village to raise a child, but you got to think about also their parents are their first teachers. And why is it that she's been like that? And something probably happened to her being growing up or whatever. He probably did something. I believe in the sacrifices and the rituals that they're taking, because that's what they're doing. He done invited Tyler Perry out on his show for him to pray on him like that. And we know Tyler Perry dressing up like a woman, which we got no problem with. We know it's an act and everything, but at the end of the day, this man just got $1 million from him. So he's donating to you guys' church, and at the end of the day, he's still not a pastor. We know that's his act. Why is he preaching and praying on you, like, you know, and you're taking that spirit like it was a spirit, and we don't know what type of spirit. It could have been a demonic spirit. We don't know.
Yeah, and hold on, let me address something real quick. I was never in no scouts, okay? I was in no scouts, but I heard stories about Boy Scouts, so that's what I'm talking. You know what I mean? But I've never been in no scouts. Only thing, I've been into church summer camps. You know, my parents used to ship me off to the church summer camps, and but that's about it. I've never been in no scouts. I did go to Catholic schools. you know. But in my Catholic schools, I ain't never seen nothing out the way, you know. And I did go to non-denomination and Baptist churches. Now, I seen a whole bunch of shit over there, but I ain't gonna speak on that. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I just
church,
have to address some shit up in the comments. I have to address some shit. Go ahead.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right about that Baptist now. Baptist church, I have seen a little bit more now going on in the Baptist church now, and that's what's sad because when you brought that part up, that is, you know, I have been to a Catholic church as well, and so when I say that, yes, Catholics, I have seen do a lot more of the, you know, sexual things in church, but like I said, not to take away from what they're doing in them Christian churches because that's what they're doing, looking at the little kids and little girls, because it happens everywhere. It really does. It happens everywhere, and you know, at the end of the day, the devil can be anywhere, and it does, and the devil is everywhere. And then we know that at the end of the day, you know, nobody's perfect. So people go in those churches, and a lot of them, we call them church people. They're not saints, you know. They go in there like they, you know, they holier than thou, and they're not, you know. And some of them be the most crooks, just like the police. They be the most, some of them be the most crooks, and they out here supposed to be able to help us and, you know, protect. And that's not, you know, a lot of pastors, that's not them. And I didn't know that his daughter was a pastor. I don't even know why she had, you know, that approach to be able to, like, she was in a position to offer, you know, up someone's kid. I thought only her dad was the pastor.
So do you feel like she knew what was going on, or you feel like she was just blindsided?
I feel like, you know, like you said earlier, a lot of them, like, you know, they kill themselves for their pastors, you know, and it's no matter, they don't have no limits sometimes the way, and I almost feel like that as a child until I actually figured out, you know, that's what changed me. If it wasn't for me actually finding out my pastor was actually stealing, I was all for the defense. And, you know, but it's a lot of people that's naive, and they think as a child, because I was a child back then. But as an adult, I know better. And I know that a lot of women and a lot of men can be very gullible, naive. Oh, the pastor was sent from God. You know, that's how they think. They, you know, they think that God gave them this position and that they're better than us, and they're not. They people just like us. They sinning just like us.
Yeah, but that's how they was raised. That's how I was raised. I used to think, you know, the pastors was on a whole different, you know, program, you know, than regular folks.
Yeah, I did too. I thought they was like, oh, I need to make sure I act right when I go to church, because if the pastor see me do this or if the pastor hear this, I'm going to be in the wrong, you know. That was almost like our step, you know, like our dads. It was next to like our dads, and we thought they was just, you know, the good ones. And it's sad because they're not.
Yeah, they're human just like everybody else. They don't got no damn power.
Sure don't, ain't got no power. And you know what? And it's crazy because before, you know, back then, before Christ and everything, they didn't even really, you know, they churches and they sanctuaries was at home. And it was actually a lot more, you know, I feel like it was probably a lot more pure, a lot more spiritual. Because a lot of these people they're not even spiritual. You know, they want to be religious and they live of this world. They live with worldly things and what the world has to offer. And they think they can, you know, live eternally here, but they can't, you know. And that's how people look at these churches. I feel like that lady looked at her like, oh, she is perfect. She's been blessed. I'm trying to get there, and I believe whatever she says, I'm going to follow. And that's what she did, being gullible and naive. And it was nobody's fault, you know, but probably however she was raised, you know, like how we were raised. But she should have been out of that by then. She's grown.
No, because when you get brainwashed, it's an ongoing cycle. It never stops. You know, you have to really, I don't know what you need to do to get out of that brainwashing, but it's just like saying, okay, you're a zombie. You've been a zombie for 50 days now. Stop it. Now, do you ever see zombies stop? Hell no. You know, you got to kill a zombie, right? You got to kill that zombie for that zombie to stop. So what does that mean? You have to kill that mindset. And if you don't kill that mindset, you will forever be brainwashed in that zombie mentality, feeling like this is what it is.
So tell me, Gigi, do you think that he should speak on it? Because I think he should. I think that he should really be speaking on it, because if I mean, the church may, want to turn turn the other cheek about it, but the whole society won't.
Well, I do. I feel like he should talk. It depends. Okay, I'm gonna play different sides. If he was a part of the church and he wanted to make some money, then no, don't talk about it because it's bad business. Duh. You know what I mean? It's bad business. But if you want to be truthful, if you want to be transparent, if you want to be more spiritual, if you want to be so vulnerable and honest like you proclaim to be, this vulnerable person that don't matter about what the world thinks and earthly things, because your destiny is God in heaven. So what happens on this earth don't matter, because he's using me as a vessel, as a learning experience to help everybody get to the glory of God. And if he want to use me, if he want to embarrass me, if he want to humiliate me, if he want to shame me, I'll allow it. If it's going to get more people closer to him. You understand? It's not about me. If he had that mentality, then I would say yes, tell it. But I feel like it's more business, and it's more, gotta be, it's about business. He got a whole bunch of money at jeopardy. He don't want to lose that money. He got a house. He got mansions. He ain't trying to lose all that. Come on now.
Sure ain't. No, he's not. Because he needs that money. He needs that money, and she knows it. And his daughter out here, but he has to understand that today she is a reflection of him. And whatever she's doing out here in these streets, and she's making herself look, bad. She's making him look even worse, because that is his child. That's his seed. So when we look at that, and like you said, he is a vessel God, and been embarrassed and been humiliated, that is what a man of God's supposed to be. That's supposed to be his service, to be able to go through that as Jesus went through it. So if he's not able to do that, and it's all about the business and the money, then he will not speak on it. And then we'll see whether or not the man is a man of God at the end of the day, because if God is blessing you, he's going to keep blessing you. It doesn't have anything to do with the business that you're in, especially if you are a man, if you are a leader of the church and you are a man that follows him and you are his servant. So at the end of the day, your riches and your fortune will still come. But if it's about business, because at the end of the day, God gave you that, and he can take it just away as quick as it came. And just like he did Job in the book, in the Bible.
Well, now, I don't think they're going to allow that. They don't want to lose that. They have become lusting over money and fame and privilege. And you realize when we talk about lusting, it's just not about sexual. You know that, right? You can lust over money. You can lust over houses. Anything that you put before the God that you want more than you want God. You know what I mean? It's lusting over property, over houses, over cars, over attention, over fame. You know what I mean? So I don't think they're going to let that go.
God is a jealous God, and he's not going to take that. Now, he should know that. He knows that God is a jealous God. And the people that, when you're put in that position, and you are a leader of so many men, and God put you in that position, and you sit up there and you play with that position that he put you in, it's no way you're going to stay in that position anyway, because it's going to keep tumbling down on you until you eventually fall. So I feel like he should come forth now so he can, end that and dead that situation.
Another thing, how are the kids dealing with it? Because that's what's most importantly. How do you feel that kids is dealing with being touched by these pastors and not being able to speak out and being shamed and being called a liar and being called delusional when they're telling their truth?
Exactly, and then this is what I don't understand. How is this woman able to do this, and you have kids of your own? What is going on with those kids in your household? Because now that's going to become a question. Because if you're doing that and you're offering up other people's kids, you have kids of your own what are you doing with them? Where is the sacrifice that in them? Because it seems like it has to be a sacrifice to be made. And it seems like that the sacrifice that's being made, you're trying to take it, either it's going to be in blood or you're going to get someone else's child. But either way, that's not going to go, because I don't understand, why are you trying to sacrifice children unless you already sacrifice children of your own, which they do that in a
Well,
business as well.
sometimes they may
sacrifice their own
not do it to their own kids, but they want it. They do it for others because they don't have the love. I don't know. I don't know all the answers. I can just tell you how I feel and what I think. I feel like she loved this man. I don't know if it was love or was it's more so praising this man or putting this man on a higher pedestal, because that's what she was taught in the church, is to praise man, and it's your husband. Your job is to obey him, make him do whatever you can to please this man and to make things easy. I feel like maybe she turned the other head. Maybe she turned the other cheek. Maybe she's spiritual. She felt it. She knew it in her body. But she said, no, God, it's not real. I'm just going to play it by the whole. Got to get shit. Oh, back at that, back. And just pray and pray and pray and pray. And okay, he did it again. But let's pray. God going to see us through this. He did it again. But let's pray. And you got to understand the reason why he's doing it, because that's the devil. The devil, see, he's a great glory for God, and that's my husband. And I have to stick with him. How would I be a wife if I leave my husband while the devil is trying to play games and trick on him? And he got him thinking that the child is something else, and it's not. I got to stay there for, and that's what I was taught all my life. I had to be this for my husband. I got to do this for my husband. And if I don't, I have failed. What the church gonna think about me not making it with my husband? I'm trying. I am trying. Can I get credit for trying? Maybe it will stop. Maybe it will stop if I have faith. Maybe it will stop if we pray about it. Maybe it will stop if I be more sexy. I give him head all the time. I do different things. I bring strawberry girl. I got the strap. You know what I mean? I'm trying here. I'm trying to save this damn marriage.
Yep. And that's what it is, that she trying to save that marriage. You never know what it could be. You never know what they could be praying on or who they could be, praying on. Because she is not, because one thing I can tell you, she don't look like, the child don't look like a child of God. Like that's the, you could tell when a woman walks with God in her. And she don't speak. And even T.D. Jakes, he's been messed up. I think he's been messed up since day one. I mean, it's just so many things that he's done, and the way he moved. I don't like it.
Name him, because I don't know nothing he did, because I don't follow him.
Like I named one about the Tyler Perry. Now, when he let Tyler Perry, like, he not only did he take over the church. Now, we did know that I don't know if you know this, that he sent $1 million to that church where T.D. Jakes, where he worshiped God, where he praised God at, he preached at. That's what he's supposed to be doing anyway. But what I'm saying is he put $1 million into the church, and then he had this man come on that church, and I mean, he spoke for about an hour, he preached. And we know that this man is no pastor in no church, Tyler Perry. I know the man. Now, if the man was so of God, he wouldn't have did what he did to Monique. Let's say that for Tyler Perry. But Tyler Perry, we know he's not right in a lot of ways. But to move on from that, he sat there and let him touch him, to pray on him. Okay? Now we know that this man is Tyler Perry's all screwed up. Now he's all about the money, and we know that. He's all about,
Tyler Perry does not come off like, hey, I'm a pastor. God has anointed me to follow a flock. Tyler Perry is strictly entertainment.
Right, but is he married?
You know what? I don't know. He was married, but he's not married.
He's not, and he doesn't have any kids either.
He got kids. Tyler Perry do got kids.
He got kids.
Yeah.
I didn't see no kids.
Yeah, he got kids. Yeah, he just don't put it out there in the world to see, but he got some kids.
Because I feel like he's undercover, and it's no problem to being that.
He may be.
At the end of the day, living your truth, and and when you live in your truth and you're about God and you living in the truth,
but you have to realize too,
that's when you can go up and
Tyler Perry has a business. You understand? So
and that's all it's about.
And who he's sleeping with it ain't nobody business because he has a business.
No, it's not. But
it's not personal.
No, his sexuality,
as a pastor, it's personal.
Right, but his sexuality, like one thing is, his sexuality, we're right, it's nobody's business. But at the end of the day, the truth is people's business, because when you want to be up in front of the church and preach, and you are standing in your truth and you're standing
is
in
Tyler
the truth,
Perry a preacher?
But that's what he did in TV Jake's church.
Did he preach or did he? I didn't see it. Did he preach or did he just tell an experience?
Oh no, he told experiences. He preached, and not only that, he acted out a part, and he prayed. I mean, he actually touched T.D. Jakes and prayed on this man, and he fell out speaking while he was speaking in tongues. And this is the thing that I don't. It's like there's a lot of things in church are not real, and people need to see that. They need to see for what it is, because when you catch the spirit. You catch, I know the spirit. I caught the spirit a few times. I know everybody catch the spirit a few different ways, but I also seen a lot of fakes in church. And we all have to admit that. And what he did was he started speaking in tongues after he supposedly got the spirit from Tyler Perry. And that, I don't know if it was the $1 million that he got that donation from that called him that spirit, because that right there looked demonic. It really did. And why are you, filled and so filled with that spirit, but you never done that for anybody else who got in your church and praised God and spoke and actually was real about their testimonies, and not just testimonies, but actually preached. This man he should not be in your church preaching for over an hour. He's not nobody's pastor.
I don't know. I can play devil advocate. You know what I'm saying? If you want me to play devil advocate to it. But I don't know. If I had to play devil advocate, this is what I would say. You got to understand. God will use your enemy as your footstool. What does that mean? That means where I could be going through a foreclosure. I could be going through something. And I don't know where I'm going to do what I got to do. But I've been faithful and I've been honorable and I've been doing what's right. Do you know that this worldly person came around and gave me X, Y, and Z? Now, I know that God uses everybody. And I don't, judge nobody. I don't take that person, that money, it was a blessing for me. And God used that person to give to me. You know what I mean? So
right.
It's not like I'm taking from Satan, but on the other hand, God uses everybody in the works for his people.
Yes, he does.
For his people. So if I had to do a devil advocate, that's what I would say.
I would say that would be completely different, because at the end of the day, when a person, anybody in that, predicament, well, we know T.D. Jakes is still famous at the end of the day, and so is Tyler Perry. And Tyler Perry, he does a lot of shows, with it be a lot of church movies and things like that. So that would
well,
be
the thing is, with Tyler Perry, did Tyler Perry go to the church, or did the church go to Tyler Perry? Because he did plays, but guess what? The church came around him. The church supported him. The church uplifted him. The church poured money into him because he did what the church people wanted him to do. He did these performances that was very, to me, kind of outdated, but a lot of church people like outdated things.
Yeah, well, I feel like I feel that way, but I don't feel like that, Tyler Perry. I feel like he came to the church first of all, because T.D. Jakes, we know that he works well with him as far as even acting roles. But when he offered that money, he played his role in the positions that he always played anyway, as far as church roles and things like that. I feel like that was just a role that he had to look good at, and who could have did it better?
Hold on, somebody say he went to the church. He can go to the church all day, but you don't understand. This man was poor. He didn't have nothing. Okay? When I say the church came to him, who built him up? It was the church. Who gave him life?
The church. No.
It was the church.
No, that wasn't the church that built him up. When Tyler Perry played those roles and things like that in the church, it's the people, it's the actors, the people that he actually knew in real life, and he said he dressed as, or he knew as in church that he was actually motivated by. And then he played the role.
Well, that's his motivation.
But
But who went to see him was churchgoers. And still, churchgoers make up, I would say, 80% of his audience. It's churchgoers. A lot of people of the world, a lot of people of the new world do not watch Tyler Perry stuff. They feel like it's very outdated. They feel like it does not empower black women. They don't like it because it's too old school. It's too dated and it's churchy.
They feel like that is more like, I feel like I watch a lot of his, I love a lot of his movies as far as, Diary of a Mad Black Woman, I love that.
A lot of my family members watch all his stuff and they are very churchy and they are church goers. Yeah. Most church goers support him. Church people gave him life. Right. If it wasn't for church people, Tyler Perry would not be Tyler Perry.
No,
and that's why Tyler Perry have to cater to church people. Tyler Perry can't do everything he want to do because the church people made him up. The church people blew life into him. If he did what he wanted to do, he would lose the church following. And he cannot afford to do that. He can't, but it would not be a smart business move. He's in a business of a business. It's not personal. It's a business.
Right, but at the end of the day, when you think about that, when you say that he made a church move and that people would not agree with that, if he was to change, but you have to also understand, if he was all about the church and growing up in church, you have to know that the church people throw away.
I didn't say he was all about the church. I didn't say that.
They turn their backs on gays is what I'm saying. That's what the church people
do. He doesn't care about that. He knows that. He doesn't care about that. A whole bunch of gay people don't care about that because they was raised like that. So that's normalized to their ass. Oh, okay.
In the church, that's not being raised like that because the church, they turn their back on that. They don't turn their cheek on that. It's not normal. It's normal now. It wasn't normal back then in his day, so I can't believe that because right now, yes, it is normal for us, for people, because I don't have no problem with the gay society at all. But at the end of the day, the church people back then, they did. So if he went up and he grew up in the church, it would be kind of hypocritical to say that, I got to be about the church and I have to make movies about the church and still dress up as a woman. Because at the end of the day, we know, and he will know at that time, they did not like that and they did not accept that. That's something they was not accepting back then. We not saying that that's what we're going to accept, or not accept.
Well, hold on. How long is back then? Because Tyler Perry been doing this shit for a long time. And when Tyler Perry did do it, it wasn't a lot of hateful. To me, how I see it and how I see around church people, him dressing up as Medea, they don't see it as him being gay. They just see a man dressing up being funny. They laugh at it. Ha ha.
If a man showed up to church like that,
okay, but that's real. But that's real. You're taking something real versus something comedy. Just like Martin Lawrence dressing up as Shanae. Nobody saw it as, oh my goodness, Martin is gay. They didn't care. They see it as funny. It was comedian. Tyler Perry is comedic. It's a difference when they see a man dressing up as a woman as comedic versus somebody that's really about that life. They treat them totally different, and it's a separate entity. And that's just that on that.
It is, but it's not a bad thing. What I'm saying is, it's like the fact that if he wanted to look different, like you said, it's about business. It's not about the church. So if that's the case, if it's about business and it's not about the church, then we can't look at it like, oh, he's just doing this thing for church. and he's doing that for church because at the end of the day, it is about business, and that's how I feel about him. I feel like everything is about business. That has nothing to do with the church. He knows what the people like. He knows that that's the best position.
But can I tell you something? To be about business, what do you have to do? You have to make believe people it's not business. That's just great business. If you come into my store and I'm about business, I'm going to make you feel like you're my best friend to the damn end. You know, Burger King, everybody got, you can have it like you want it. Now, I know when I go to Burger King, I don't always have it like I damn want it. But that's their slogan. When you go to Chick-fil-A, they give you so much respect. They give you so much love. Now, I know these motherfuckers don't give a fuck, but they got good damn service. Your job as a business person, if you want to make good business, is to make people feel at home, to make people feel like family related.
That's exactly my point. For him to show up to that church right there, it was just him playing a role. It had nothing to do with that church. That's the way that he knows that society needs him to look at to be business, and that's what people are gonna. They're not gonna frown upon.
Can we turn this around back to TD Jakes? Because we got a whole distracted on Tyler Perry, and I understand how we got to Tyler Perry when we supposed to stay on TD Jakes. But I appreciate you, bro.
Together, that's what I feel like.
Okay, I appreciate you. All right, we're gonna let you go. All right, I'm gonna look in the comments section. I'm confused how the man of God isn't married. Man, Chick-fil-A ice cream is so good. I never had their ice cream. All right, caller from 720. You're live on the air. 720. Hello. Hey, how you doing?
I'm good, and yourself?
I'm doing all right. You know, I was in a heated situation, but I'm doing all right. Call me, talk to me. What's your thoughts about all this?
Well, I've always had an issue with it, mainly because a lot of people who are in the church make God look so hypocritical and make his name look so bad because of the way his name is used and manipulated. I don't like it. And especially with situations when it comes to sex abuse in the church. There was a recent video of this young lady who came out to her congregation. She was raised in the church, and at the age of 16, she was raped by the pastor.
The R word. Can we say the R word? You talking about that white lady, right?
Yes, ma'am. I do apologize for that. The R word. My apologies.
It's all right. You slips. It happens. We human.
Well, I thank you for that. So, yes, a young lady, she came out, and I was really hoping, even though I was a little bit naive, I was really hoping that the congregation would just stand up and be like, ew, you're trash. But it was the total and complete opposite. They somehow not really congratulated the preacher, but they gave him a pass by saying, oh, we love you, we believe you, we know this doesn't happen, we know this was an affair. It was
you can't have an affair with a child. You don't have an affair with a child.
Exactly.
What's wrong with you? But that's what I said. They are demigods. These people worship these men in the pulpit, just like they worship these governors and all this other stuff too. They are a cult, and they love to brainwash, and these minds are so easily manipulated into their propaganda. They can do anything.
Anything.
And don't you know these pastors know that? Don't you know these pastors, all they got to do is, I don't even know what they do nowadays. When stuff like that happens, what do they do? What did that man do?
He didn't say anything. From what the beginning of the video was stating that he was getting ready to step down from his position because he was letting it be known that he was being unfaithful, quote marks, and that he had an affair with someone, and it lasted for a few years. So he was the only one, apparently.
How he have an affair? Why is he so low in the spirit realm when he's supposed to be high in the spirit realm? I'm not understanding about this. How is he so greatly in the flesh? That's what worldly people Like regular folks, that's the flesh that we in. How are they so on the low totem pole that they struggling still in their flesh realm after 10, 20, 50 years of in the spirit? I'm not understanding.
And yet you're supposed to be a prophecy or a prophet. The last time I checked.
What is the reward of being in the flesh? What's the reward there? Are you there?
For me.
Shit, look,
yes,
you got quiet. Now, I'm not talking personal, so don't take it personal. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking because I don't know your story, and that ain't, that's your business. I'm talking about for these pastors. Why go down to this flesh realm when you preach about how good and high the spirit realm is? And how God is so close in the spirit realm, and you get abundant blessings in the spirit realm. And, when you're in the spirit, you don't have those same issues in the flesh like you did before. And, time and time you go on, it's going to get easier. Because, baby, when I tell you, when you come down to this altar and you get saved, you're going to struggle. You know why? Because you're a baby in the spirit realm. Have you ever heard about that? You're a baby in the spirit realm. You can't tell me nothing. I've been in the spirit for a long time. You a baby in here. You just got rid of your flesh the other day, girl. How dare you tell me about anything? Okay? I'm legendary in the spirit realm. I'm iconic. You ain't nothing but a baby. Of course you're going to trip up. But that's why baby spirit shouldn't be on the pulpit and teaching about nothing, because you ain't been through nothing yet. You know what I'm saying? I've been through stuff in the spirit realm, because that's when the devil going to really attack you and test your faith. But I've been tested and I'm proven. And that's why I am icon. Okay? I know where I'm going when I leave here. You think I don't fear dying? I know where I'm going. But what about you? You got your soul together? You in the spirit realm? This all a test. And if you don't get yourself right and you keep falling in the flesh, what's going to happen when you want to go upstairs? Huh? You ain't going to get that. Nah. You got to practice here. So when you up there, everything is calm and cool. You understand? What you doing?
Right. It's just a lot of people use religion as a way of control.
Of course. I'm glad you said that.
It's a way of being able, exactly. It's a way of being able to hold somebody to a certain lifestyle that they themselves can't obtain, but I'm going to put this on someone else. And it's just hypocritical in itself.
Of course.
And I just find it it's just disturbing even more to have, I want to go back to the people who go to church, the congregants, who stand behind someone who's supposed to be quote unquote holy, but they do some shiesty mess. They know it's wrong, but because they have supposedly God behind them, it's okay. When did doing wrong be okay in God's eyes? The last time I checked, doing wrong was not okay in God's eyes. Hurting someone was not okay in his eyes, no matter how it was done. So why is it okay for that person to do it because he has God behind him? Like, to me, that's an issue.
Yeah, and how do you go about that? Because they're always going to have each other back, and that's what's going to make them stronger and come together. And they feel like, you know what, we all go through tough times. Then they're going to break down. He's just human. And the devil try to come to him in so many ways. Look at these girls.
Yeah.
They showing all that leg. They got these short-ass shorts on. And it's hard for a man. Because, he's a man and he struggles every day.
There's
and it gets hard.
They can't help it.
But he's a good man. He gives to the turkey.
Yeah.
And, he just, you know what? It's just a mistake. It's just a mistake. And I know everybody can't talk because how demonized this world is and how the world is full of demons. And you guys want to talk bad about this pastor because he made a simple mistake. Okay? Like, can you just stop it? Cause you look at the rappers you listen to. Look at the music that you guys do. You give them passes, but this is a pass. Yeah, they on two different damn levels. Your pastors, you want to put them on a pedestal.
Exactly.
The next time, how about you put these pastors on the same pedestals? You put these thugs, and they go hand a motherfucking hand. But no, you don't want to do that. You want to act like your pastors is better, and this is that, and they're on a different level. And how dare you talk to my pastor this way? You could talk to the thugs like that, but you can't talk to my pastor like that because he's anointed and he's close to God and you respect him. You see how the double-handed shit is? And that's just how it always will be, and nothing you can do to change that but to fight against it. But they will always have their picks and chooses. They will always have their double standard. That's just how it is.
Right. It is, and it's just unfortunate. It really is, because, like you said, what can you do? What can you do?
Well,
You're fighting someone who.
Go ahead.
You're fighting someone who has. No, you're good. Yeah, you're fighting someone who has a very strong following. Like, there are people in the building who support this man or woman or these group of people in the pulpit. They follow his every word. They believe it like it's literally scripture. It's like they're hypnotized in a way. Like, I will do what you say. And now all of a sudden this person comes out who is not under this trance, calls out for who they really are, and they attack them for it.
Of course. I would just say, for me, if I was in that situation, I would just leave that church, and I hope all of my friends and family doesn't go to that church, or I'm going to have to break away from all of them too. If you really want to break away, you're going to have to cut ties to them family and your friends, because if your whole world is resulted around one group that feels that way, then you're going to have to cut them all off. Because they're going to make you feel some type of way. How dare you do that? You sure you didn't cause him to do that to you? You sure you didn't want it?
Right. And there, that lies the issue. That's what I'm talking about. Like, it's rare. It's very rare when the entire church, or more than half, or even 5% of the people in that church believe you. So, yes, you can leave and you do walk out and you start to heal and you start to feel validated, but still in the back of your mind, you're like, that fucker is still preaching and these people believe him.
That's true.
I didn't win shit. He's going to do it again. And these people assume, like, no, not my pastor. And I'm not saying this as every religious leader is bad, because they're not. There are some actually really good ones.
But we're talking about it's a whole bunch of them that are foul. Don't do that. Let it be known. It's a whole bunch of them that foul. You know why? Because let it be a few thugs on the internet, on TV. They want to classify the whole black niggas as like that.
Right. I know that. And you are correct. So I was getting ready to say that I know that there are some good ones, but because of all these bad ones, it just makes God look so bad. It really does. And so a lot of the time, a lot of these so-called religious leaders get the attention besides the ones that should. I don't like watching evangelists, no matter who they are on TV. I believe they're all about money. Not one of them is about God. Not one of them care. And it just shows more and more time when stuff like this comes out that we're right. There is God is nowhere to be found in those buildings. Nowhere. And it's just saddening that people will continuously keep going there and they don't see it.
Well, and it's an emotional, girl. Okay, I would say, I'm going to play devil advocate again. Well, it's tradition. You know, that's how I was taught. That's all I know. And some people feel like it's my existence. If I don't have that church, then I'm nobody. All of my being is wrapped into that church. All of my being is wrapped in tradition. And if I don't have that, I am lost, because that is my guide. If I don't have my guide, who am I? And that's scary. So I don't want to lose that. and I just want to be just a part. I don't care. I know he may have done some wrong stuff, but it's a comfort because my family and my friends are there. And of course, maybe he did some stuff to me, but you know what I did? I forgave him because that's what we do. And I realized that, you know, maybe I was just looking a little bit too good that night, or maybe, you know, the devil was tricking him and wanted to use me as bait. But I forgive because that's what we do. And, you know, he didn't really want to hurt them. It's not like he wanted to kill them or anything, you know. They're still alive. They can still eat. You know what I mean? They should be blessed. You know, because it could have been worse. It could have been worse, right? Right. It could have been worse, but it's not. So, you know, for me, I feel like we just need to just pray about it and just forgive and just realize things happen. This is the world we live in. But, you know, it's a sense of pride and family here, so I don't want to lose that. And even though my pastor did wrong, it's not worth it, you know. People get touched every fucking day. So what? You know, I'm not going to allow to judge my pastor. I feel like he's still anointed, and, you know, and he has helped me through a lot. You know, I was at a point where I was going to take myself out of here, but because of his words and his ministry have saved my life. So who am I to turn my back on him when he saved me, you know?
Right. You're right. And I do agree with you. I know it's
now, you
it's
know, that's
mindset.
not
It's
what I mean.
it's-
That's just me talking, you know, being devil's advocate, talking in certain terms, okay? Don't take it personal.
No, but you are correct. Because I've even thought that deeply about it. Like, how can you snap someone out of that? How can you? They were trying to find a place where they can be whole, find a place so they can be loved and accepted. I mean, because it's so hard to find that here. It's hard as hell. Even in your own circle, you still don't feel accepted. So you go to the one place that you feel like, yes, finally, this is what I was looking for. This is my home. Then all of a sudden, someone just dropped an atomic bomb on your happiness, your profound reason for living,
right?
And trying to tell you, no, don't do it. Of course you're going to fight it. Of course you're going to fight back. You're going to
be in denial about it.
You're going to go after that victim. Exactly. I do agree. I'm just saying that it's sad. It's
and
really
I'm
sad
sure maybe that's how Cora felt when she first heard the rumors that her husband was touching on kids. Maybe she was in denial. She did not want to break that happiness up that she had with her husband. She didn't want to believe it. Or maybe she knew about it and maybe she turned her head.
Maybe. Still not okay, but maybe.
No, all of it is sick.
Agree.
Let's not get it twisted.
It's
sick. But people don't want to talk about it. People excuse it, and they rather have conversations about something else versus how is the kids affected. You know, they don't never talk about that, the mindset of the kids. And if you really want to know, just ask around. Ask around. Say, hey, if you've been touched by a pastor, just talk to people. They'll start telling you their story if they feel like it's in a safe place. Now, if you're going around trying to judge somebody and say, well, why would he want to touch you? Did he touch you? Then, of course, nobody going to open up, you know. But, shit, it's a lot of people that would tell their story.
Yeah. Some people would rather accept a pretty lie than an ugly truth. Because a pretty lie, you can make anything horrible to turn something to be something positive or happy. But the ugly truth brings you to your reality, and it snaps you out of that rose-colored phase that you were in, or dare I say, bring you into the matrix and show you what's really going on. So, unfortunately, a lot of people would prefer that.
And why do people prefer
They don't want to know the truth. It hurts. I mean, think about it. It really hurts. When someone tells you the truth about something, don't you feel some type of way? You're like, that son of a, I need a minute to transfer what I'm feeling right now. That's not what I believe. That's not what I was told before. But now you're trying to tell me what I believed in wholeheartedly is a lie, I mean, that hurts. No matter how small or big it is, it can shatter the way you think about things or events or even people. It makes you even close off a little bit.
I
And
think
doesn't make you want to
sometimes.
accept certain information.
Okay, I want you guys
So
to
it
picture
hurts.
this. If you have somebody close in your life, right, and somebody tell you something that's unbelievable that you cannot deem to think that your friend or your parent or whoever did it, what is your first choice of words? What are your first thoughts? For me, I'm not hurt. I'm more like, you're an effing liar. You're a freaking liar. You're a hater. You're mad because whatever reason, but that is stupid, and you're going to HELL, and you're such a liar. You know, it's more anger. Like, how dare you say that about my friend? My friend would never do no shit like that. You know, because we want to feel like we know these people. We know our friends. We know our pastors. And if it goes against our belief, right? If we have a belief that somebody is a certain way, and if it goes against our belief, then we are offended. It's offensive. And we take it personal.
Yes, we do.
That, I guess you're right. It is part of hurt too. You know, that's hurt as well. So you're right when you roll it around like that.
Thank you. It's just, I understand. I get it. Like, I really do get it. Like, you were looking for a purpose. Everybody should have one. Everybody should have one, but that purpose shouldn't blind you. But if it does blind you to a point that you can't even see reality for what it is, that means something deeper inside you that needs to be worked on. Like, for some reason, you are not comfortable enough with yourself, or you don't love yourself enough to not fall for something that is actually may not be good for you. I'm not saying that religion and God's not good for you. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that.
But who taught us to love ourselves? Who taught us to love ourselves? Who taught us how to love ourselves? I know I was raised in tradition, and we never been taught to love ourselves. We are taught that,
exactly,
for
that's
me,
the problem.
You know, loving yourself, that's a little bit selfish, don't you think? Okay?
Yeah, you're
What
right.
about what your parents did for you? What about what God did for you? It's not about you. You have to live for other people. What about what people think how your parents is, you know? You got to worry about your parents. What about what God wants for you? It's not about what you want. It's about what God wants for you in your life. It's about what your parents want.
Yeah.
You know why? Because they know best. Do you know why? Because God placed them as steward over your life. God placed your parents over your life to guide you in the right direction. It's not about you. And guess what? You have to have kids too. And when you have kids, you're going to teach those kids the same situations and the same principles that your parents taught you. So, you know, then you have a purpose to tell your kids to what to do and how to do it. You understand? And it goes on and on again. But it's never about you. Okay? That's very selfish.
Yeah, and you're right. They do teach that a lot as well, that if you only think about yourself, even for a second, you had a long day, you just want to relax and just take off your shoes and watch TV just for a minute. But if you do that,
why are you watching that on
bad.
TV? That is worldly. That's worldly. That's how the devil creeps in your mind. When you're watching that devil box, so you know, back in the day, they didn't even have TVs, and they were closer to God. You know, nowadays, everybody have a TV and an iPhone, and they're so lost. They're not close to God. They're not praying. Turn that TV off. Get on your knees and pray. That's what you do. You want some entertainment? Turn to Revelations or John 3:14. Get you some entertainment. Listen to those stories. That TV is garbage.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if I was a
so
harsh parent
hypocritical.
like that? Could you imagine if I was a harsh parent like that?
I would cry for the child. I should call CPS or like blink 3 times if you need help.
Yeah,
911.
busting in your
but
kid's room. What's going on in here? I smell the devil. I smell the devil. Okay?
Bruh. But they just sitting there doing their homework confused, like, what are you talking about?
What? Let me see that homework. It's something in that homework. I feel it's an evil spirit in this room. Or okay, have you seen the Girls for Color Girls? You know what I'm trying to say, right?
Yes.
And you know how that mom was. That was the really religious, right?
Yeah, Whoopi Goldberg played the hell out that role.
She did.
In that movie,
She
yeah.
did.
Yes, that movie, it was really good. It was really powerful because it really showed what black women go through. Well, actually, it's women in general, but it just more focused on black women in the community that we have to live through, especially with those type of scenarios. And when you live with an overpowering religious parent or parents, that in itself is extremely damaging. And a lot of people really don't understand that.
It's very damaging.
More so and especially more so in the black community. Like,
you're right.
We just put so much pressure on it. Especially when it comes to the girls. And how they must be pure. They must always be ladies. They always must have long hair. That's what my family. And you must look always presentable. It's just so much.
Well, I would tell you one thing that still affects me today. When I was driving, I was talking to my cousin about it. I said, I have anxiety real bad as an adult from my childhood, I believe. And she says, you're right, because I have it too, how we were raised. And we have some older siblings that always lived in fear. Child, don't go to the corner store. You know they pound. Girl, you better not wear that chain on. Oh, my goodness, this. Oh, my goodness, this. Well, you better not go down there. You know what they doing. Oh, did you hear what's going on? They got hit by the car, girl. Yeah. They will have you so freaking scared, and they traumatize everything. And it plays in my head. I was driving, and I said, why am I having these negative thoughts just randomly? Like, I be driving, and I fear, like, somebody going to smash into my ass or something. You know what I mean? Or, you go somewhere, and you just fear that something bad about to happen. Because you have all these traumatizing mindset, and that's just how you was raised. And I said, damn, I don't want to live in fear. You know what I mean? And it's interesting because those same fear mongers were why are you so damn scared about everything? Okay, you scared about everything. Make it make sense. Which one is it?
Exactly. You can't have it both ways. You got to pick one or the other.
Yeah, but just to say, parents, please don't traumatize your kids with all that fear. Because it really affects them in their older age or when they get an adult. And see, they don't talk about this because people don't realize it. Your reaction around your kids, it affects them. It really does. You being very dramatic and stuff for different things, it affects them.
Exactly. And just to I know this is a show, but I watched a little snippet of it. I think it's called MD. I might have got it wrong, but anyway. So this young man, he was in a hospital because I guess he got beat up because he ended up peeking into a teenage girl's room. His parents are extremely religious and made it seem that if he ever had sex or if he ever explored his body, he would go to hell. Sex is bad. You're never supposed to do that. You're only supposed to do it when you're married. You will never fight. I mean, they obviously just grilled it into him like this is bad. So he started getting these weird feelings about sex, and he would act out. So unfortunately, this part of
But can
acting
I say
out
something
led
too?
him
I'm
to
sorry to
peaking.
disrupt you, but
No.
that same scenario, those parents, you're gonna go to hell. That is so horrible. You know what? Sluts going to hell and this and that. Do you know those same boys go out here doing to do with those girls and then slice and dicing them? Because this is what happens.
Mhm.
They do it with girls, right? And they feel good.
Mhm.
But after they bust that nut, all those thoughts, oh my God, this is horrible. She's the devil. And they feel like I got to erase her out of here because she is causing me to go to hell. And she is bad and she's nothing but a slut anyway. And they slice and dice them. And then they feel God bad. God, please forgive me for my sins. And then they feel okay. And then they start to have their natural human, hormones horny. They see somebody, then they do it again. Then they feel horrible. Oh my God, I can't stand it. She keeps on teasing me. You see what she did to me, God? I didn't want to do this, but she made me do it. Now I bust a nut. Now I'm in my right frame. Now I gotta kill this bitch. I gotta slice and dice her ass because she is a sinner and she is horrible. And she caused me to sin.
Yeah, you're right.
But
And
go ahead.
It'd be no, you're good, but it'd be like that. So he was in this hospital being beat up because a bunch of kids saw him peep into this girl's window. So the doctor's in there talking to him, trying to get the story about what happened. And so the little boy explained to them the same thing I just told you. My parents told me sex was bad and that if I ever tried it, I would go to hell. Like God would never love me. I'll never be accepted. He said, so I just have these urges. I'm so confused about it. I don't know what to do. So my body wants to do something, but my mind is telling itself no. So he's fighting with himself on a constant basis. So his parents end up coming to the hospital, and these doctors are telling them what is going on, and letting them know that I think your son needs to have talk to a psychiatrist. I think it's very close to a psychotic break, or he might try to hurt somebody. Like, I think you guys need to ease up or just like relax a little bit. And so the father and the mother did not take it seriously. They're like, oh, he's just being tempted by the devil. It's nothing that God can help with. And he's good. They did not take this seriously. So eventually the little boy got up and wandered in through the hospital, found this teenage girl sleeping. He didn't do anything, but he was watching her sleep. So a doctor was looking for him, and then he found her in this girl's room, and he told him to back off. The little boy hesitated, and that scared the crap out of him. So he went and grabbed scissors, and, well, he cut off his stuff. Because he did not want to hurt somebody, because he was so afraid that if he had sex with anybody, if he kissed or touched a girl, he would go to hell. So
yeah, that's
cut off his
horrible.
own
That's
stuff.
horrible. Yeah,
That
but
is-
it happened like that. That's that brainwashing. That's that grooming.
And it's sad. I'm like, how could
And they
you do
feel
that?
righteous.
How?
They feel righteous by doing it. They feel honor by grooming him to be self-destructive, because that's what it is. It's self-destructive. And they feel honorable. They feel like they did right. And I get my reward in heaven. I did right. Yes. Yes, it's okay. Because what did the Bible say? If my right hand still, cut it off. If my eye is something, cut it out. So you did what was right, Sonny.
And it's just,
yeah, but
it's
girl,
really sad.
I agree. I enjoy talking to you, but we gotta get back to this TD Jakes. But I thank you
my
for
fault.
calling. It's all right. All right, we're gonna let you go. All right, let's get back to TD Jakes, because we talking about everything but TD Jakes. Calling from 702. You're live on the air.
How you doing, Gossip Girl?
Hey, baby, how you doing? What's your thoughts about this TD Jakes stuff?
Well, I called you not too long ago when I was on your show live, and I was telling you that I had 2 daughters by a pastor. So I'm very familiar with this type of thing that's going on in the church, and it's crazy because right when you came on, I was watching this video about, this pastor in Africa was casting these demons out of people.
Uh-huh.
And I was looking at, and it's a scripture in the Bible where it talks about the two men that
Hold
were
on.
full of demons.
Somebody said
Uh-huh.
church can't cause, what they say, church can't cause mental health. It starts in your home. No, church can't cause
Mhm.
mental health. Church is all about the mind. Church is about grooming the
Yeah.
mind to believe something, certain things. It's about a belief. And where do your beliefs are? Your beliefs are in your mind. Your beliefs are not
Mhm.
physical, you know? Your beliefs are in your
Right.
mindset. So it's all mental. When you think about church religion, it's all mental. But go ahead.
It's like a cult. It's like a cult. I was in church for 8 years. And I end up having two daughters again, like I said, by this pastor. Now, I was young and I already had issues. I suffer from PTSD and I suffer from manic depression. So when I came out here, I was just looking for a church mother. And I did find her. I found a church mother that was here, but the church that I was going to had a dirty pastor, if you want to say, And I end up reaching out to him because he told me he was the founder of a child care for my son. And I was going through it. I lost my job and everything. And I was really going there for refuge. I was going there to get my soul right. I wanted to do right. I knew about the Bible, but it turned into a sexual relationship, like I said, and it really affected my life. Now, I haven't taken away my belief in God. I believe in God 100%. But when it comes down to fellowshipping in churches, I don't trust it. And I had just I was just talking to one of my friends about it because they was trying to like Q&A me, and they was like, well, do you pay your tithes and offering? Are you paying tithes and offering? And this is how church folk do you. And I was like, no, I haven't found a church that's suitable to receive my money at this time. So I'm not paying tithes, and I've been there and I've done that. And even though I was paying my tithes at the time, because I was paying up to $600 a month in tithes, because that's how much money me and my ex-husband we were bringing in at the time. But I end up getting in trouble and going to jail and different things like that in the midst of paying my tithes and going to church and putting my dedication. And I feel like it's pretty much a cult. And I'm just going to say this. I'm very glad and grateful that I got from up underneath that pastor in particular teaching, which is my child's father to this day. And I'm still going through a situation with it because I lost my children. No lie, no cap. And they're with my ex-husband now. And then he has a lady that he met at the church, which is like his best friend. I'm in the process of writing a book and different things like that about this situation right now. But it's a lot of stuff that goes on in the church. And the main thing is what people have to understand, that it's a business and they're there to get paid. My pastor promised us for years, because we had a storefront church, that he was going to get a building. He would take us to different properties and look at land and stuff. He had no attention. Over time, he had over $100,000 in his account. And when members start having trouble, it's the church's responsibility to help their members out. And they don't do that. And T.D. Jakes and them got money. They just found money in Joel Osteen's church all up in the walls and stuff. This is a business. And if they can get you to sit up here and dedicate all your time to something, and I'm not saying that the Bible ain't real, but you can still praise God inside your home. And a lot of church people is more messier than people that don't even go to church, So
Yeah,
that's
and
just
I
my
want to.
experience.
Yeah,
I got hurt really bad.
I'm sorry that you got hurt, and I'm glad you told your experience, And church is something else, and sometimes I want to play a little devil advocate. Sometimes
Go ahead now.
I can, go to church, and it depends on you. I don't know. Some people get privilege in church. Some people get loved on very hard. Some people get praised very hard. and you feel like it's a
Mm.
family and they love you and they don't want you to go and your ass don't even want to be in church, but they seem to love you for
Girl,
some reason. They want to call you, you
that's
need
mhm,
something. We family, right? You know what I mean? And they give you hugs
right.
and it feel all fluffy and shit. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean?
Uh-huh.
Go
They
ahead.
was my friends for 8 years. They was my friends for 8 years until I went to prison. Once I went to prison, they all disowned me. They all kind of blackballed me. Then when I would call and talk to certain members, they said don't even pray for you. Uh,
Mm.
the lady that ended up getting custody of my children, which I'm still battling it right now with her, but at this point I'm willing for my daughters to stay in her custody until they grown because they safe, they fine. That's cool. It's happening for a reason. But I myself personally, I don't do the. They try to get you with fail not to assemble yourself in a household of faith and different things like that. But God says the church is in us. You know what I'm saying? It's what we do. It's the fruit that you're bearing personally that you need to take a look at. We look up to these pastors and we look to a lot of these leaders. But if you look at these leaders, they're not doing nothing for the black community. Why is the black community so out of control as far as when it comes to the violence, the gang violence? What are they doing about that? What about the demonic energies that's passing back and forth? Why these ain't getting cast out?
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
And
But you're
I'm gonna
collecting
I'm
all
gonna
this
play devil
money.
advocate on that too. We living in a sad day. Do you know we
Hmm.
have the most churches in this world to date? It has
Hmm.
never been as many churches as it is today. We are at a record high
Hmm.
of churches on a corner. We are at a record high of churches with so much money. We are at a record high with churches with so much fame and power, and they are powerless. Look how we
Right.
are in doom. Look how it's
Yeah.
fallen. No power, but
Hmm.
fame and just abundance in number. It's not about the
But they
number,
got
but it's about the quality.
right. That's the thing, and the thing about it is that pastor, he had a wife, okay, and I was married at the time, and something that I learned from his wife, she was real spiritual, but she would talk about how her mother and them would go, and they would pray for people, and she taught me, and she told me about how they would cast out demons and stuff like that, and different things, and how they would feed the homeless and things like that. And I'm not saying that churches is not doing that, but why is the community so sick? But they driving around in new Mercedes. The pastor that I'm talking about in particular, this guy had a brand new Mercedes every year.
Hmm.
You feel me? He constantly promised that he was going to get a new church building for the church so that they're not in a storefront. It never happened,
Did the
okay?
devil take over the
So
churches? Is that what you're saying? Did the demon
I'm
spirits
going to
take
tell you
over
something. I
all
don't know.
the churches and all the churches are turned black and the sheep don't know it because they're blind, so they'll follow anything that has a
Exactly.
cross on
Exactly.
it. They'll follow anything that has a church front. They follow anything that draws emotions, because God is not about just emotions. It's about real power up in here. But if you got a man on the pulpit that can draw your emotions left and right, you feel like you did something.
I mean, it's a lot of them that have, and people have to understand. You have to go with what God gave you on the inside. You got to go because He give everybody discernment. You understand what I'm saying? And a lot of mothers, like I think we were talking about that last week, because a lot of these single mothers go to church too, but they're not doing nothing to, they're not doing a lot of stuff that they need to be doing. If you're talking about your black church in a black community and you're supposed to be helping women with shelter, you're supposed to be helping people with housing, you're supposed to be helping the bums get up off the street. It's like lots of stuff that these people are supposed to be
They
doing,
have turned
and
their
they
back
not.
on the common folks. They have turned their back.
And I don't know if you know anything about Freemasons or nothing like that. I
You
might
know
get
I
my ass in
don't.
trouble,
You
but
know I don't. You know I don't.
Hey,
I heard about the
I'm
stuff, but I'd be scared to hear about it.
I'm gonna just put this out here. My pastor that I'm talking about in particular was a 33-degree Freemason. Now, people don't understand. The thing about it is when you a pastor, you're not supposed to be, you ain't supposed to be dipping and dabbling with anything that has anything to do with the dark side. You understand what I'm saying? You're supposed to just be representing the light. That's what the Bible say. My pastor was into a lot of stuff. He's not the only one.
I'm lost. What is the Mason a dark side?
A Freemason is, you know how they talk about the Illuminati and all that stuff like that.
It freaks me the hell out. That's why I'm like, nah, I'm good on that.
Well, okay, so for instance, Walt Disney was a 33-degree. No, he was a 33-degree Freemason.
What is a Freemason? What is it?
It's like it's a secret society type of situation.
How's it secret if we know about it?
I mean, we don't know all of the details. They got different handshakes. They got different codes that they use. A lot of them, if they get in trouble with the law, they got passed.
They've been exposed. You know what I think? I think the real cult is the one that's not discovered. I think the real Illuminati, whatever y'all want to call it, is the ones that nobody know about. Because, I mean, the Illuminati, it's been exposed. Freemason exposed. So it has to be something that's more going on out there that nobody knows about. Now, that's a good one. You know what I mean? But all this other stuff,
I think it has something to do with people. I think it got something to do, everybody ain't who you think they is all the time. You know what I'm saying? And just like T.D. Jakes' son, you know what I'm saying? It's easy for him to kind of like, and it ain't easy for him because I don't know what the hell in his mind would make him think that he could touch boys or do stuff with little boys and he ain't going to get caught and ain't nobody going to say nothing about who he is, and he has a status that he has to uphold. And his wife, or whoever wife that is, T.D. Jakes' wife or whatever, taking baby kids, that just let me know that that's the type of nonsense that they be into while they're in church. Because it's funny because I have a little kid. I have a little girl. And this lady, she always tries to invite me to church. But I just noticed last time I didn't like the way that it is. My child is not going to sit in church. She's like, oh, she can do children's church. My child ain't going in no little room by herself where I can't see what's going on, sis. And if she's not gonna sit down with me on my lap or sit next to me under control while I'm there, I can't be there because that's too much for me.
Yeah, why can't she wait till she grow older so she'll know what's going on and have that choice?
Exactly, and that's why I was saying about the
yeah, because a lot of kids don't have a choice. A lot of kids were just baptized and don't know what the hell going on and don't know what they doing because I didn't know.
Yeah, and
I was drinking the blood and bread and I didn't know what's going on. All I know is it tastes good and I can't wait to have some bread and some juice, okay?
And do you know that
and they said this the blood and this the body. I said this sounds like a damn ritual to me. Give me some, okay?
90 seconds.
And it is. And do you know? But I'm gonna tell you something about that. You ain't supposed. It's a lot of stuff that you're not supposed to do if they going based on what they teaching. You as a child is not supposed to be drinking no juice, no wine, and no bread until you understand what that represents for you.
Oh, girl, please. Let me tell you. In the church, they had 8, 9-year-olds speaking in tongue, and they praised the little kids for doing it because it sounds so cute.
And that's how you know that they full of it because
60
doing that
seconds.
Now, when I look at it, because I know what the truth is, you sitting up here misusing children. They have to say, I'm ready for this. And a lot of mothers
have to understand what's going on, and they don't.
Yes.
They doing it. I was doing it to please the parents because they were, they get excited over that. When they see a little one doing it, oh, yes. They get excited.
No. They get excited, but they don't. That's the thing. Like, and a lot of single mothers attend churches, so it's very important for them to understand, about their time and how to gauge it and not do things that you really don't want to do. You know what I'm saying?
10
Make sure you're
seconds.
protecting your kids at all costs, because a lot of parents is in there. They working. They not paying attention to what's going on in these churches, and kids are getting hurt, and things are happening. So
you're right, because I don't know if you heard about that pastor in Detroit.
Oh yeah, I think so. I think he molested he got confronted by the member or something about
that's
it on the
another one,
pulpit.
because it's been a few of them. But it, like I said, it happens all the time, and these are the ones that's just getting caught. It's a lot of them behind the scenes that's still not getting caught.
Oh yeah. I hope God expose them all, because they all need to be brought to justice, because you are intentionally leading people's souls down to hell. After all that stuff happened to me, I fell into a dark place. I wouldn't pray. I wouldn't do none of that. I had to gradually, and then when I would go into a church or I would get close to a church, I would just start crying because I felt so much shame. I felt so much pain. I felt like these people had really took something for me, because I lost everything. I lost my 10-year career. I lost custody of my kids at that time. I lost my house. I lost my cars. I lost everything messing around with a pastor, because still at the end of the day, by me being a member, he didn't have to come at me like that. He could have just kept everything, because it's these leaders' responsibility to do right by people. And the thing is, like the Bible says, you're going to get a double punishment for what you're doing. They not going to get away with it. I'm telling you, I went off. I had took them to court, tried to get them DNA tested. They couldn't DNA test them because my husband's name on birth certificates. You understand what I'm saying? So he wouldn't allow it to happen or nothing. But then I seen him go through the same stuff where people wouldn't let him talk to his mama when she was passing away. So like I said, people don't get away with nothing that they do, whether they're a pastor, especially if they're a pastor in these churches, and they have a responsibility to teach
and
people.
The youth pastors, they touching the boys.
Yeah.
They had this one girl,
they have
this mom, like you
ahead.
said, she was a single mom.
Mm-hmm.
And she felt like her son is gay. And she said, no, he can't do that. No, this ain't right. He can't be gay. No. So she said, right. I'm going to turn you straight. You're going to be a man today. And she told that pastor, she said, this is my son. I think he dealing with some homosexual shit. And I need you to take care of him. I need you to teach him how to be a man, a godly man, a straight godly man. Understand? She said, listen, he going to be your church father, okay? You going to listen to him? Mm-hmm. He going to teach you how to be a man, because I can't do it. I tried, and it looked like you turned it into a gay. And I can't have that. Right. I can't have it on my conscience. I raised a gay. So I'm going to give you to him. Understand? And he's going to be your father, your church father. He's going to help you out to be on a straight path. Girl. Why was that pastor?
That's the setup right there.
Why was that pastor do with that boy? Mm-hmm. And not only was the pastor having this way with that boy that the mom gave to the pastor, mind you, the mom then gave her child to this pastor man.
For
not
him to
only
raise
was he doing to do with him, the pastor brother was also having his turn.
See, that's what I'm. See, this is the thing.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
We ain't done yet. We ain't done yet. Man. The son was all confused. The son was, I don't know if it's right or not, because you don't know how the pastor's doing it. It's okay. Don't tell nobody. It's between us. We can pray it away. Let's do it and then pray it away. You never know. I don't know. But the son told the mama.
Told me.
The son told the mama, and the mama, I guess, was trying to, first was in denial, because, she set that up. She going to have to eat that. And then.
Eat that, baby. You said you put your son in harm's way. It was getting rumors
around because the son was talking. The son was talking. The little boy, 15, 14, he was talking. And they couldn't have that.
He was happy.
So the pastor paid the mom off to shut it up.
Wow, that's that's the situation that we got with R. Kelly.
The mom took the money. So now everything was supposed to be quiet. Because you got to remember, a lot of these people, they praise the pastor. You know how they worship these men.
Girl, bye. I'm telling you, I've had to curse on them.
She wasn't even up for her son, because maybe she seen her son as gay, and maybe she seen her son as less than. Maybe she thought her son was lying about it, didn't believe. Who knows? You know what I mean? But anyway, the pastor then paid the mom off for the rumors and stuff to go away. He ain't want to get nothing with it. They told the man to get off the church, so I guess he went to a new church, girl. Okay? But the boy was not happening. And he kept on talking about it. Come to find out, he was doing it to other boys too, girl. Now his ass in jail.
Oh, yeah. And see, people, and that's the thing about women, because, you know, women, we emotional. So, you know, we appeal to somebody, you know, acting like they care or seeming like they care with us. So we go to the church because it seems like this is a safe haven. But y'all just seen what happened, and people got shot up in them churches. It happens all the time. And I'm not saying don't go, but, you know, make your relationship personal. But right now, I wouldn't go into no church. Me, myself, personally, I'm not going to the church at this time. I'm not dealing with it, because you're not going to sit up here in my face and tell me all this and this and that, and I know for a fact you got other stuff going on. You got to be real careful about who you sitting up under anyway, and who you giving your money to, because every time you pass your money to somebody, you giving them your energy. And if that person don't have a pure heart towards the people or the community or their congregation, and they're not really there trying to help, you really just throwing your money and your time and your energy out the window, and something could happen. Just like them pastors that was trafficking them little girls in Chicago, I think. They just arrested some pastors that was trafficking children in Chicago. So we can't put these people up on a pedestal and try to make them seem like they all glorified. And I'm not saying disrespect the people in the church or nothing like that.
But that's what the pastors want. That's what the pastors need. The pastors need them to glorify. That's good business.
You don't glorify no pastor. You glorify
I know, but I said,
God.
but that's what the pastors want. The pastor, you gotta remember, you're going up against a big establishment that got a lot of money, and pastors have a lot of control and a lot of politics.
Mm-hmm.
So of course,
but you know
they
what,
want that.
Although they have all of that, they're not more powerful and mighty than God. And if you see somebody and they not doing right, it don't matter who you is. And a lot of people feel like they can't tell nobody the truth. I'm going to tell people the truth until the day I die if I have to. You're not going to stop me from telling you the truth. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I do have to go back into church one day so I could let them know something, because a lot of them is playing out here. And they don't take what they doing serious, because you're dealing with people's souls out here. You can't play with that. These men sleeping with little boys and sleeping with little kids and sleeping with their members in their church, they out of line for that. They out of line.
Can I tell you
demonic
something else?
Behavior.
Can I tell you something else? Can I tell you something else? Can I tell you something else?
Yes.
When you look at the history of these pastors, you will see a lot of them messing with kids.
Mm-hmm.
When you go back today and you look at Nigeria, when you look at East Africa, India, they still have pastors messing with kids, marrying kids. And right now, I just got finished watching Nigeria president. He's somebody up there. And he is pushing back against Western ideas, because you know the Western ideas it should be against the law to mess with kids, but he wants to marry 13, 12-year-olds and younger, and he wants it to be back in law because it was legal in Nigeria in a lot of places. Recently, it was.
That's crazy.
Now
That's
they're
crazy,
fighting
and
back for it.
In the 1960s, that's actually what was going on. Before the 1960s in the United States, that was what was going on. When I look at it, and I took a class on sociology, and it discussed it to some degree. It kind of went into detail a little bit about that situation with these older men and Muslims marrying young girls and stuff. These girls are being taken against their will.
Yeah,
it's
and
not
being
right.
groomed and forced.
I should have to. A person should have a choice on who it is that they want to marry or sleep with. Other than that, it's rape and molestation. So that guy trying to do that or whatever, you know, the thing is, it's like I said, people think that a lot of the stuff that they doing, they gonna get away with. And, you know, I feel like the universe ain't gonna even let it happen.
Yeah, but they feel like they've been getting away with it, and it's been legal for all in the past.
It's just so sick. It's just so sick to be doing stuff and to even be thinking about kids like that. Why you can't get nobody that's your own age? You feel me? Like, what's up with that?
Because they want to remember what the other caller said about the church. Control. Easy access. They want a mind control. They want a mental control.
Be careful.
They like innocent
That's why we gotta
minds.
be careful. Exactly, because they can mold them and groom them.
Yeah, see, you know too much. You know too much. You got too much knowledge.
That's
why
they don't like. I'm the black sheep in my family. They don't mess with me because I see shit. I see it real clear, and I know all about it. You understand what I'm saying? But it's the thing about it is that they probably have been getting away with it. But if you notice, a lot of people ain't getting away with a lot of shit no more. Just like this pastor was
that's
exposed.
in the Western image on a Western side, but a lot of them is. I'm sorry to say, but a lot of them still getting away with it. But on the East world, like in Africa and India, it's still in part. Okay, this is what they say. You want me to tell you what they say? This is what they say. They say they illegalize it because of America, right? But it's a law that's
what?
not. Yeah, they illegalize marrying kids because of America.
Because we did it? Is that what you're saying?
Not only because we do it, but because they want to do business with America. And America in certain countries not going to do business with them if they still push marrying kids and doing XYZ to kids. So America said we can't do no deal.
So they pretty much sold us off.
Huh?
We pretty much sold off. We didn't get sold off. Because anytime that America would try to make a deal with another country, that means that we down bad. We not in good positions no more.
No, because they want from America. They want from America. These are smaller countries that don't have a lot of stuff going on, and they want to make a deal with America. Or they want to make a deal with big countries, and certain countries that have, different standards. They're going to say, nah, no deal if you guys are still doing X, Y, and Z. See, countries like Russia and China, they don't give a damn what y'all do. Okay? They just about power. But America, they're trying to have more standards.
You know what about them countries that don't give a fuck? Is because they have their own resources. For some odd reason, it just seems like America is not doing shit to pick themselves up off the ground and create their own fossil fuel or anything. We still purchasing outside of the United States for our oil. When they say that they know how to make it and they know how to distribute it and everything like that right here in our country. And I'm going to say something too. Now, I understand they doing all that stuff, and I'm not going to say that I don't care about them little kids over there and I don't care about those people over there, but my focus is right here in the United States. What the hell is they doing right here where we at right now? Because one thing that I feel like America has a problem with is they always going to go aid all of these other countries and cities, and then when shit happens to us, I don't see nothing happening. I don't see no money being spewed back to us or sent back to us when we have tragedies and different things that happen, just like this shooting that just happened. Now, America just helped Ukraine get on up out of there and bring all of these refugees and aliens over here to the United States and give them free food and free shelter and money in their pockets. But what about them people that just lost all them kids, or them people that just got shot at the grocery store not too long ago? You know what I'm saying? Like, their priorities is in a really fucked up place. I mean, I'm sorry for you. It's in a really messed up place, you know, and it's not leading us into the right. I don't even know who the hell leading us is, you know.
But
they
I
say
don't
Joe
know.
Biden the president.
I feel kind of different. You know, if you focus so much on your hometown and you already know the outside is coming, they're going to come. I think you have to play the long game, because China is up next. If America is so not on the home front and not working with NATO and all them other countries, China is going to eat America alive. America has to be on their toes with the big players, or else it's doomsday and China is going to rule everybody. And that's just that on that.
Exactly.
So, you know,
exactly.
They got to do what
And
they got to do.
I don't feel like we got the right players in charge, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we had the right players in charge. But I think nobody
ever feels that way as a whole. Nobody ever going to agree with a one leader. That's just impossible. Everybody going to feel like that's not a good leader. That's not a good leader. And that is just going to be up for debate. You know, your own perspective. You know, right. But, you know, people can say, well, what are you doing in your backyard? What are you doing in your small community? What are you doing on your neighborhood? What are you doing on your street?
Man in my business, shit. That's the best thing you can do.
But see, just like America, you don't want America to mind their business. You want them to help their people out, right? So people may say, well, we want you to help the people on the street out. We want you to start a neighborhood watch. We want you to start a house owner association or a rent owner association or whatever to make the community better. Set rules aside for your people and have conduct, have rules. You can't be smoking outside. You can't be smoking weed outside. No loud talking outside. All the music, we're going to have a cutoff time. You know, have rules. You can't just be throwing stuff, the plastic anywhere. Put stuff up, and we got to come together as a community, and we have to build our community up.
Right. That's true.
But ain't nobody doing that in our local communities. Ain't nobody doing that. You know, so
that's what the churches was put in the community.
Okay, but you know what? I know you can say so much about church, but at the end of the day, if the church ain't gonna do it, what you gonna do? You can't depend on the church. And that's the problem. You cannot depend on the church. You have to do it yourself. If you want something done in your community, you have to get up certain people. And if you don't feel safe doing it, I understand you possibly need to move to another community or just shut the hell up and just sit up in your house. Either or.
Or have your protection with you just in case something go down and you be able to protect yourself. That's how I roll. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I feel like a lot of people should be that way as well. Make sure that you're protecting yourself, because it don't look. The United States don't got our back.
A lot of
the
times,
churches don't got our back like that.
In the different communities, like I see in different communities, not black but kind of white, they look out for each other. They know each other. They look out for each other.
That's true.
They know when you're not one of them. You know, but I appreciate you calling, boo. We're gonna let you go. Comment, let us know what you guys think. I'm looking at the comment section. Okay, Kyle, you say the caller is saying our government needs to focus on us and not other countries. I heard that. I said you can turn it around. You can say, Kyle, you need to focus on your community. Don't you live in a community or neighborhood? What are you doing in your neighborhood? You know? It all starts from the small groups on up. Just like it don't start with the president. It starts with what? Your mayors, your governors, right? When you're voting, what's really more important is really in your district. It starts there. It doesn't start at the president. You know, it starts on your block, your neighborhood. You know, your neighborhood have value in it. Some neighborhoods have more value than the next, right? It starts there. It starts in your family household. It starts in your family. It starts in your house. All right. So let's continue on. We got another caller. Let's go. Calling 219. You're live on the air.
Good evening, and thank you for taking my call.
You know
First,
I got you.
Say,
go ahead.
Yes, and I want to say this is my favorite channel on YouTube. I love this show. I really do.
Thank you, bro.
You have said so many good things this evening. You really have. You hit on a lot of good points. I just want to say, I'll kind of bring it back to the T.D. Jakes situation. Mm-hmm. Although everything you said has been good, I grew up in a church, and the Pentecostal Apostolic Church. And matter of fact, I'm an ordained minister in the Pentecostal Apostolic Church. And I first want to say that I think overall the church is good. And I think most of your leaders, they are living a life that is acceptable to God. They're not living this double life. But it's the ones that are doing it, even though they're fewer in number, they are being, I guess for lack of a better way to put it, being brought to the forefront. And that's basically because the Bible talks about this. The Bible talks about, especially in the last days, it talks about these things going on. It also talks about wolves in sheep's clothing. And going back to the T.D. Jakes thing, you talked about manipulation. And I think that that's a large part of when we see these things like kids being in inappropriate contact with leaders and children. And just the people in the pew all together is a lot of manipulation is going on. But in order for you to be manipulated, you have to have a weak mind, because you cannot be manipulated unless you allow it. And I'm not saying children are allowing it, because we know children, they can't. I mean, they're children, okay. But I'm just saying overall, when you talk about people worshiping leaders and things like that, it's all a part of a manipulation, and you just shouldn't allow yourself to be taken control of that way, so that you are worshiping a leader or worshiping. You got to know God for yourself. You got to go to God for yourself, and you've got to be able. And when you do that, when you pray and when you keep yourself in the Word, you'll be able to discern when you're dealing with someone that is a wolf in sheep's clothing. And like your one caller talked about, you got to know who you allowing to lead you. That was such a profound statement. You just can't, just because there's a church on the corner, or a church or that's got 1,000 something or 50,000 members or whatever the case is, and they're on TV all the time, whatever, doesn't mean that person is called to lead you. You got to be. It doesn't necessarily mean that person is living a life that they're just because they're on TV all the time, because we know we got a bunch of television ministries going on right now. It doesn't mean that person, just because they're on TV all the time, doesn't mean that they are necessarily, living a life that's acceptable to Christ, or that's the person that's supposed to be leading you in your relationship with God. You have got to have some type of spiritual discernment yourself. And how do you get that? Is through you having your own prayer, your meditation, and being in the Word. Because what the Word of God is what activates or it gives you the power, put that way, and causes you to be able to live a life that's controlled by God. It causes it's word. The Word of God is what activates you, to activate your spirit to be able to discern certain things in life. So, but back to the manipulation thing, like T.D. Jakes' daughter, I think her name is Cora. It was a lot of manipulation that she used to get these girls to give up. Because from what I understand, she's working on a second girl to get her to give over her children to her. And how are these girls able to? How is she able to get to them to the point to get them to want to give up the rights to their children? It's got to be manipulation involved. It's got to be, and it's some obsession on her part too, that she's got to have all these kids.
What spirit is that? What spirit is that? What spirit is that? What spirit is on her?
Well, I'm gonna say this. She's obsessed, in my opinion, because she cannot have kids.
She can't. I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
She cannot bear kids, and
I think she's that?
And I don't think.
How do we know that?
She is. Well, let me say this. Larry Reed did a whole thing on this a couple of weeks ago, and he did a really good job on it. And he actually spoke to her, and she didn't want to be on his show, but he had some conversation with her. But it is known that she cannot bear children on her own. So the girl that she got the child from was her best friend. They've been friends since childhood.
Now, can we talk about that a little bit? Okay, she can't have children on her own. And I apologize, for what she going through, because she wants them. It's not like she don't want them.
Yes.
Now her father is close to God, and they say have kids and multiply is a good thing. So I don't know. It could be. She just can't have kids. But some people, and I'm playing devil advocate. I'm not saying this is how I feel. But some people will say, is it a curse due to her father? Or is it a curse due to, a spirit that she took to get certain things? Maybe she really wanted a husband. And the spirit said, okay, if you want this husband, you can't bear kids, and I'm gonna curse you with the greed of always wanting other people's kids and doing them wrong. I don't know, but you know how certain stuff in the spirit play out.
Well, I'll tell you this: I have a family member that had like 3 or 4 miscarriages, and after the last miscarriage. And that went on for like some years of the first part of their marriage. But after the last miscarriage, they ended up being pregnant with a son. And then after that, they got pregnant again and again. So I don't know what she went through, if she went through miscarriages or whatnot, but I will say that whatever occurred that she couldn't have kids, in church, the one thing we teach about healing, right? Who's to say that what she's going through, that she couldn't be healed? She's still young. Anything.
So you feel
God
like
can
she
do
can
it.
be
That's
healed.
what we teach in church. God can do anything.
That's one way of saying it. And sometimes when I come up in Baptist, they would have called it a curse. In the Baptist world where I come from, they would have said that's a curse that God put on that person. Because they have these ideas that, if you don't bear your man a child, it's on you. You know how the old school thinking is. Because, back in the day, when these wives didn't have kids, you know who they were blaming on? The woman. It's her fault. And it could be the man.
Mhm.
It could be he had a low sperm count.
What could be, but let's say it's nobody. Let's just say maybe it's nobody's fault at all.
Right.
Maybe it's things happen, bad things happen to good people, but that doesn't mean. Look, we can go back to the scripture that talked about Sarah gave up having to think, and God came to her and said that she was going to have a child, and she was how old? 90 years old. So now I'm not saying
you said somebody had a child at 90
in the Bible.
Did
Sarah
they tell
was
Kevin?
90 years
Hold on,
old.
wait. 90. This is my first time hearing this. 90 years old.
Yeah, you can read it.
Listen,
don't take my word. And
did y'all tell Kevin Samuels this when he was alive? Did y'all tell the minister this? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I never heard that. But I wonder why did the manosphere people talk about, 90 years old and pregnant? I wonder what he would have said about that. Go ahead.
Right. But I'm saying but what she's focusing on is getting these friends of hers that and her friend actually had been in jail. And she was getting her life together, and she got pregnant after she got out of jail. She went through a series of things, and Cora Jakes came to her like, "Okay, let me help you." And I think the whole thing, and I don't want to try to say that she wasn't seriously trying to help the girl, but there could have been an ulterior motive behind it, all of part of her plan, the manipulation thing, because you get so caught up in it that you start it just becomes part of your nature to manipulate for everything that you want.
Okay, well tell me this: why she want them kids? I know she can't have any on, but she can adopt. Why she trying to take regular folks' kids?
See, now you're hitting on something now. Why? That's exactly right. Why?
Because it's a sacrifice. It's a ritual.
That's exactly right. Why?
She have to make the parents go through pain, have to lose something, have to hurt somebody. That's hurt. If I adopt a kid, I'm not hurting nobody. But if I take it from a mom and manipulation and bring hurt and pain, that's a whole part of a ritual, a sacrifice of, if it's calling a hurt, almost like a death. When a mom or, lose their kid, it's almost like a death in some sense. And that's power. That's power. They can use that to manifest or protect. It could be a protection spell that she used to protect her husband for touching the kids. Because they said, I don't know if y'all heard this or not, but they say, you heard about spells from different religions. But they said the Bible has spells too, and anything that you say something and you cast something, I rebuke you. That's a spell. Just certain things are all different wordplay.
A spell is a prayer. It's a type of prayer. Is what you're saying.
I'm saying, people have different ideas.
The gospel. How do you gospel? It's a spell.
Right.
So I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, that's what I was listening to. A group of people talking. They was talking about it, and I said, "Wow, I never even seen it like that." You know what I'm saying?
Right, and another thing, one of your callers said too, and this is kind of a sidebar, but I think it when she brought it up, I think it was good it was a good thing that she brought it out, because it shows you the type of spirits that are creeping up in the church, and why are they creeping up in the church, and that's how we get this manipulation and people that have these obsessions and things like that. But she brought up about Freemasonry, and I know you said you didn't know a lot about it.
I
but
sure don't.
and I like what you said. You said you think the secret is not a secret because people know about it.
Right.
And I said, and that's a very, very, very good point that you brought that out. And and I think personally, the secret is the secret society is really, to me, is the Vatican. And you said that's not, because you said Freemasonry is not the secret, and you're probably right. It's the Vatican. And I would say to you and to your listeners, read up on the Black Pope. And Black doesn't stand for his skin color. That's just a title. The Black Pope, and he's supposedly over the Pope that's in the Vatican. Read up on all of that and see where you come with that. But back to the Freemasonry, there's a lot of these televangelists, specifically the Black ones and some of the white ones too, are Freemasons. They're preaching the gospel in the pulpit, but they are Freemasons. Now, this is speculation. I don't know this for a fact. It is total speculation, but I think that was part of what was Eddie Long's demise. I think that he was a Freemason and he was trying to get out of it, and that's when you try to get out of Freemasonry, that's what they do. They start doing stuff to bring you down.
Now, they
telling
do
your
spirits
secrets.
on you? Do they do spirits?
They definitely have initiations and things like that they go through. And I won't get into all of that because I know we on a certain, but I just thought it was interesting how that came out, because I think that it shows you how a lot of, like I said, a lot of these spirits and things are creeping up in the church. It's because people are commingling with a lot of things that they shouldn't probably be commingling with.
Now, I know you brought up the Vatican. Ain't that Catholic? And I know I look up some stuff and I read some stuff about Catholic back in the day, but I know it's a whole bunch of bloods on the Catholic hands, and the Protestant hands back in the day. Did you know that the Catholics and the Protestants, they was killing each other?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You're right.
When I found that out, I said, "Ma, why you ain't tell me this? Why you ain't tell me all that?" They don't want to talk about that. But
that's right. They want to keep that.
Yeah, I was surprised at the stuff that I was reading about and hearing about. And did you know back in the day, even in the church, it was heavy more in the church where they would have, like, say for instance, I had a daughter, right? No, I don't want to put me in it. Mm-hmm. Say for instance, Fred have a daughter. Right. Fred's daughter is 4 years old. And Fred wants to make arrangement deal or a peace treaty or, something with Michael. And Michael is 22. So they would marry the 4-year-old to Michael and say, well, when she turns 12, then she belongs to you. And by doing this, we can never go to war with each other, and we're going to trade goods, and we're always going to have each other back because I gave you my princess. I gave you my daughter. And she has no say in it. Right. And they said, well, you don't know him, but you will learn to love him. You will learn to. Of course, back then, women didn't have a choice. There was just objects, used to be traded. Exactly. Amongst to get, for their fathers or for the country. And like they tell her, it's not about you. It's about your family. It's about your country. Life is more than you. So she'll go into the deal feeling like she's doing it for everybody else,
Exactly. Okay, I got you. I see what you're saying. Yes. But I think just all in all, with all of this going on, I'm glad that you had this conversation with your listeners, because things like this that happen, I think we should talk about it, and because it helps people to, one, it helps you to, and I think one of your other callers was saying, she said, I don't go to church anymore because of what she experienced, but you never know. This conversation could help her to say, well, you know what? Maybe I will go, but I'm just going to, pay attention to whose church I'm going to or who the leader is, and making sure I, decide, look into all of that before I decide where I'm gonna go. And it just helps, and it also just helps us to understand the times we are living in, and that, and for us to be prayerful and us to be careful about how we're living and what we're doing, and looking over your own family and looking out for your own family and your children, because it's so much going on. There's so many, and it's all a part of the enemy's plan, so that we don't follow Christ. We don't make it in. It's to make us give up and think, well, ain't nothing is going right. Nobody's doing right. So what's the point? And that's the whole plan of the enemy, is to get us to a frame of mind where you just say, well, just forget it. It don't make, this ain't right. This none of this makes sense. That don't make sense. To cause that confusion, so that you're not walking that path to walk through that door to Jesus. Put it that way.
All right. Well, I thank you for calling. We're gonna let you go.
And thanks.
No problem. All right. So I see some people want to
Thank
call
you for using
in.
Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
I'm about to get the phone lines back open. Okay, don't you worry. So let's go back here. This is the lady, and she talks about how T.D. Jakes' daughter took her kids away from her. And while I'm playing this, I'm going to open up the phone lines.
Making me feel like I was inadequate to take care of one child, although I already had 3 kids. Making it seem like she was there to help me, but the whole time she was planning and conniving to take my son Jason. After I had my son Jason, because while I was pregnant with Jason, I was depressed. Mentally, physically, spiritually, I was fucking depressed. You understand what I'm saying? So when I had Jason, I went into postpartum depression. I never dealt with that in my whole entire life or having children. I never dealt with postpartum depression. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know how to deal with it. I just know that I was dealing with it. And she took that and she prayed on my vulnerability to the point where she had me in front of MacBook recording and on my vulnerability.
Hold on, I need to hear that very clear. Did y'all hear what she's saying? I'm having a phone line so y'all can call in.
Your show now, press 1.
My goodness,
to hear
this
important
is so
instructions,
sad.
press.
Your show is scheduled to start in 28 seconds.
All right, let's go.
To the point where she had me in front of a fucking MacBook recording and asking me questions, talking about it was counseling, but it wasn't counseling, because later on down the line,
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3,
I can't
2,
even hear.
1.
Okay.
Blog Talk Radio.
There she go again talking.
About it was counseling, but it wasn't counseling, because later on down the line, a few years later, she would then use that evidence against me in court when I went to fight for my son. Okay? She used that shit against me, okay? What was supposed to be for healing, what was supposed to be for ministry, what was supposed to be for all of that, she used it against me in court to take my son, okay? Now, I don't know many mothers that dealt with postpartum depression, but that shit is fucking real, okay? It causes you to be detached from your child. It causes you to feel like, maybe you don't love your child. This shit is real. And in my case, it caused a detachment. Not that I didn't love him, but I didn't feel close and connected with him because of the postpartum depression, not because of who I am as a mom. And that bitch prayed on that shit. And when you fighting against people with money, and I'm talking about real money, that shit is hard as fuck. I represented myself in trial in trial by myself. And I had to sit up there and come to the agreement because I didn't know how to fight no more. They paid my lawyer off. They paid the judge off. They didn't even want to submit their income documents, her health documents, nothing, to the point where they had even the little minions around them doing the work for you. You know what I'm saying? That girl for a whole year straight after I had my baby did whatever she could to put it in my head that my baby was not for me, to the point where she brought down a so-called prophet by the name of Gaylena, okay? And they performed this whole little, I call it an exorcist now.
Oh, God, did you hear that? Did you hear that? Didn't I tell you the rituals? Didn't I tell you? Y'all need to call in on this. She said an exorcist.
Had me laying on the floor, speaking in tongues over me, pouring oil over me. Then she comes up with this elaborate story talking about I didn't have Jason for myself, that I had Jason for Cora and Brandon Coleman. And how
Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you? Did you hear what she said? She said that T.D. Jakes' daughter, was praying over her, trying to get a demon out, or probably forcing a demon in her, talking about some, God gave you this baby. Pretty much, God or the demon used her to import her baby in her. So when the baby comes out, that baby is supposed to be Cora's, because Cora prayed to the spirit realm. Now, I don't know what spirit that she done prayed to, but she prayed for the spirit realm for a baby. Okay? And the spirit realm said, I can give you a baby, but it's going to be from pain and suffering, from a mom or from a place of darkness. And I'm assuming that, the lady on the screen, she said she didn't feel no connection. She felt almost cursed with this baby because she was going through postpartum depression or whatever. So maybe she needed, only way she can get baby is from, women that's going through a depression of postpartum depression. You know what I'm saying? And some people in the spirit realm can see part of that as a dark side or a dark spirit looming over a person. And so she felt that the spirit imported a baby in her stomach. And she said that baby was for her and her husband. I don't know if Cora thought this baby would bring her husband and closer together, but they said that she didn't have no kids. That's why she wanted them. But sometimes girls feel like they're worth nothing if they don't provide a man an heir. Back in the day, I don't know if y'all know this, but back in the day, women that could not provide husband kids, some of them was taken off, sliced and diced off. You heard it right. If you was not providing kids, they would slice and dice you off. They said, what's the point of having you? You're useless as a woman, okay? And if they ever were to divorce that woman, back in the day, nobody was interested in dating divorced women. They were very hard on women, very judgmental on girls. So that was devastating blow, So, it definitely seemed like some darkness here. And it seemed like she wanted some kids and she was going to pray to whatever principalities to get what she wanted. And I don't know what sacrifice or what she traded in to get these kids, but it all fell down. I don't know, why did it fail now? Is the dark spirit done with Cora? Or did Cora not want to do what the dark spirit wanted her to do, and that's why it exposed her and left her ass? I don't know. Call in, let us know what y'all think about this. All right, I'm going to look in the comment section. Where's TD Jakes Steaks doing all this? I don't know, but shit, you bringing up steaks. I'm hungry for a steak now. Yes, ma'am, Christians is good at that. Make sure y'all call in, okay?
She could see Brandon sitting on some type of throne.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? This lady was praying, Cora. She saw her man, that's a petty, sitting on a throne. Now, you know that's dark energy and that's dark spirit. And she was doing a curse and she was doing a ritual on her and her kids and her body. You know? She saw her man, that's a petty, sitting on the throne. She didn't see her man was a petty because whatever dark spirit she was talking to, whatever dark spirit she was allowing to control her, gave her the spirit or the sight of blindness. Basically, the spirit would not allow her to see truth, only blindness and delusion. And that's what she saw. She saw him on a throne, which is a damn lie because the man is behind jail. The man is behind bars, okay? He probably sitting on another man throne. How about that? Or hell, he may be a wife at this point. The spirit didn't show her ass that, now did it? Okay? The spirit didn't show her ass something else. Now, what's going on? Call in. Let us know what's going on. Okay, we got another caller. All right, so let's see what this caller got to say. Calling 917. You're live on the air. 917. 917. That may be a spirit right there. That might have been a spirit. Who knows? Okay, they said, or a toilet. She has other kids and then through that before. She needs to rebuke that spirit. Jesus cursed a fig tree. Why not bless it? You know, talk about, you know what, since you brung up a fig, have y'all ever had a fig Newton? Ooh, I got a taste for a fig damn Newton. I haven't had a fig Newton in a long time. It's these oak, they have oak on the outside and it's like a chewy, fruity thing in the middle. It's so good, a fig Newton. I want a fig Newton. Anyway, let's continue on.
Was my son that was sitting on his lap and he was just laughing.
Okay, so the girl, Cora, saw her son sitting on that man's lap. Now, you know what that man do to little boys. Ain't that some weird stuff? Ain't that weird? That's crazy.
To the point where Cora told me after I had my son Liam that God gave me Liam so that Jason's real brother could come. Who the fuck is Jason's real brother? Because bitch, it sure ain't no child coming from you because you can't have kids. She can't have kids. You understand what I'm saying? The bitch can't have kids. I'm not the first person that she tried this with, but I'm the only person that she got this fucking for with. And I'm tired of being quiet. To the point now, from 2018 to now, Brandon Coleman was locked up on May 4th for sexually.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. And you had your son around him. You gave your son away to that perverted. And Cora, you knew your husband was doing this, but you didn't care. You didn't care. You protected him, and you made a partnership with the dark Lord, with the dark energy to have your kids because you wanted this idea of a perfect family. You wanted this image of the perfect family, but he's a liar. The dark spirit lied to you. It lied to you. Oh, God, Cora, what you doing now? Cora, you making another deal with another dark spirit? That's what she's doing. She's making another deal. She's asking the dark spirit, get me out of this, save me from this. I don't want to be embarrassed. Save me, save me. What are you going to do? The dark spirit said, give me another one. What you going to do? What you going to do to sacrifice? Okay? He said, you see what I did? I blew your whole spot up, bitch. You know, you going to have to do what I tell you to do. You done gave me your goddamn soul. Now you going to have to obey. Now, when I tell you to shuck and move, shuck and move. You see how I destroyed you? You see how I took your husband from you? You see how I broke your family up? You see how I embarrassed your father? You see what you're going through now? Y'all didn't call up in here. Y'all better call. Y'all better call. All right, and we not even finished listening to what she got to say. Making a 2-for-1 deal, TD 2 hamburgers and 2 steaks. All right, calling from 718, you're live on the air. 718. 718. 718 dropping. Okay, 917 is back. All right. Here we go. Calling from 917. You're live on the air.
Hello?
Hey.
Hello?
Hey.
Hey, Gigi, I have never called in your show, but she's barren. So God is not going to give her kids because that man, God knows that man was going to rape those kids. He has a spirit, it's called barren. And what the last caller was telling you is Abraham and Sarah. She was barren, but at 90 years old, God gave them a son. It is in the Bible. And I love your show. I've been watching you forever. And I never called into YouTube. But that girl's barren, and TD Jakes and his wife should have stopped her. Her sister has kids. Her sister had a kid at 13. That girl can have babies because God knows that man was going to molest those children.
And the kids.
Yeah. So it's called Barren. And it was a movie that was the girl Debbie Morgan, and it was an old movie, and they showed it in Louisiana, and it's a spirit on you, and it's called When a Woman is Barren. So they become obsessed with children. And they're the woman that, they'll steal people's babies out the hospitals and stuff.
Right.
But TD Jakes and his wife should have stopped that woman because they're of God. And they had their first, Sarah, I love her. Sarah Jakes Roberts had a baby at 13.
But they're probably scared of that spirit. If it's a spirit on Cora, they are afraid of that spirit because they're not in the high spirit realm because they don't worship to the greed. They made a deal with the greed and in the flesh, so they don't have that same power that they used to really rebuke it, cast that spirit out of Cora.
That's a demon. That is a demon. And God will not, you think about it, God will not give that girl a baby. And TD Jakes could afford for her to adopt a baby. But why would God let you adopt a kid and know that man has that spirit on him? He's a pedophile. Her husband is a pedophile. And it's called Barren. Yes, it's called Barren. Google it.
All right, I'm going to Google that.
It's called it was Debbie Morgan they were in Louisiana, and Debbie Morgan played the sister, and she was barren. It's called when you cannot have children. She was barren. In the Bible, what the last caller was telling you, Abraham and Sarah. So Sarah, he got his maid pregnant, and then Sarah told him to do it. But you have to wait till when God can make anything happen. I'm in Atlanta. I'm in New York now. I'm from New York. I want to get to Atlanta since '95. God made it happen. God can do anything. And you know it. God can do anything. But Cora needs to go to jail for what she did. She needs to go to jail. Because TD Jakes got enough money. And she could have adopted a kid. But they're not going to give him a kid. That man is a pedophile. And TD Jakes, I love him. I don't watch him anymore. I don't watch him. And I never called into YouTube.
Well, I thank you for calling in, boo. And I thank you for letting us know the real, boo. I love you too. Giving you kisses and glory. I thank you, baby.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to let you go.
I love you guys.
All right, we got another caller, 718. You're live on the air. 718. Hello? Is this a spirit? Hello? Are you from the earth realm? It's a spirit I keep calling here. 718. I know a spirit when I sense one. You know, sometimes spirits can be from the past. You know that, right? Yeah. Yeah. TD Jakes is a... I bet you that spirit gonna call back.
Assaulting the adopted daughter of Mari. And it wasn't just a one-time offense. It was continuous sexual assault.
That's sad.
I gotta sit here and I gotta think, well, did he touch my baby?
You know he did. You know he did. You know he did. You know the answer. You know he did.
Did he touch my baby?
That's what they do. That was the whole sacrifice. That was the ritual of the church. Yes, and she saw him on the throne. Yes. They need to take innocence. It's a part of the ritual to take innocence, to disgrace innocent people. You know, the more innocent bodies they disgrace, the more power they become in the dark realm. And she saw him as the king in the dark realm. He was not in the light. It was in the dark. I don't know if the spirit then switched the switch on her ass and how she not know this was wrong, considering how she was raised and she know what's going on. Maybe she didn't care. You know, maybe she wanted more power. Maybe she's mad at God for not allowing her to have this baby with this man who she thought was the perfect husband and the perfect family. Maybe she's mad at God for that. I don't know. Let's go.
You understand what I'm saying? I haven't seen my child since 2018. They keep him from me. I don't know where they stay.
All right, we got another caller. Caller from 410. You're live on the air. The caller dropped.
Where they live. I don't know their day-to-day thing. I don't know anything. This whole fucking time.
Hold on. Wait, I know I didn't read that. Somebody said Cora could not adopt because her husband have a record of doing a do. Okay, hold on. So you mean to tell me Cora already knew that man have a record of doing a do with little kids and she still was with him? Well, that's telling. I already knew she already knew this. I knew it in my spirit. She knew what was going on and she put a blind eye to it. She knew it.
And this man has been a motherfucking molester in your motherfucking home, but you're so worried about making this home, making this family, having these kids that you're willing to steal, kill, and destroy other people's lives, other people's families. I can't tell y'all how many times my baby sit up here and ask me for their brother. Mama, when we gonna see Jason? Mama, when is Jason coming home? And I don't have an answer to give him. I was homeless. I was leaving a 4 or 5 year relationship.
Oh, what happened? Something happened. Ooh, wee, girl, it's a lot going on here. But you know what? I'm getting sleepy. I am sleepy and hungry all at the same time. I just want to let y'all know, please like this video. Please like and share. And you know what? I'm going to go on live more often. I need y'all to support this channel by watching me and listening and calling in. And I love y'all, and I'm going to see y'all till next time. Be safe. Happy Memorial Day weekend. And hopefully I come around here tomorrow to tell y'all what I seen in these streets, okay? I love y'all, but I got to go. I'm hungry. I'm sleepy, and I got to get up early in the morning, girl. You know I got to get up around 5 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, 5 or 6. Damn, 2 or 3 hours. I'm going to, listen, tomorrow I'm going to be up all day. Yes, I am. I got a whole bunch of driving I got to do. I'm going to be all around the city. You know, oh, don't you hate when you got to ask for somebody for help? You know what I mean? That's where I'm at now, you know? But anyway, enough about me. Okay, mental. Yeah, all right, let me get on out of here because I ain't talking about nothing because I'm half sleepy. All right, love y'all. I'm out.